I know I'm just a kid, but I'm learning how to be undateable, unbreakable, and unshameable from J Mgtow.
Why I Went Mgtow. J Mgtow back in the building. This topic has been much requested, and I didn't want to do it because it would probably be an hour or two, who knows how long, an entire video. But some of you said that you wouldn't mind listening, even if it's long. So here you go. My longest video to date. Grab your popcorn, snacks, and your drinks because this is going to be a good one. Now, this story is actually the introduction of my autobiography, Broken on the Inside. It's called The Christina Devastation. My book was actually already done over a year and some change before I met this girl. But every time I told people the story, they said it was so good and crazy, and they suggested I put it in my book. So I did, and ended up making it the beginning part. Now, this is the girl I dated over 2.5 years ago when I was still being a simp and was still oblivious to female nature, their games, how they operate, etc. Basically, before I knew the game. She was the breaking point that made me end up choosing to go Mgtow. After hearing this story, you should get a more vivid picture as to why I feel I am better off being single for the rest of my life. You will also learn how good men like myself are continuously being used and abused, taken for granted, and had our hearts literally ripped out and eaten by these evil creatures. Those that watch my Mgtow slip-up video, just remember, this is the girl before her. The one in the slip-up video was the first time I put my beliefs to the side for a woman I foolishly wanted to love. And as y'all know already, how it ended. Now, let's get to the story. The Christina Devastation. At this point in my life, I had been single for almost 10 years. I met Christina in January 2016 after I got hired to work at this restaurant at the mall. Christina was the one who trained me as a server, and when I first laid my eyes on her, it was love at first sight. I mean, she was incredibly beautiful. My attraction to her confused me a bit because up until this point, I was not attracted to black girls, as you will later find out. But something about her just made me think, wow, this girl is truly breathtaking. She had beautiful skin, a warm smile, an incredible voice, and nice lips, which blew me away. Of course, I found out right away that she had a boyfriend. I didn't let that stop me from flirting with her, though. Over the next few weeks, I tried to get her to hang out with me after work at a bar, but she kept saying she'd see if it would work out. After asking her a few different times to chill with me, she finally told me that she wanted to respect her boyfriend and did not want to hang out with other guys. I had no choice but to respect that. Christina always wore slightly baggy work pants, but her breasts always looked great in her t-shirts. I just always knew at the back of my mind that she had a nice ass. Days passed by and I let her be, but over time I began having a lot of sexual fantasies of her, mainly about fucking her from behind. Months passed, and one day she told me that she was having problems with her boyfriend. Finally, she asked if we could meet up one day at the mall. She needed some new work pants and wanted to talk. When she showed up, she had on this extremely sexy fitted green sundress that almost made my damn tongue fall out of my mouth. I finally got to see that ass, and it was nice, plump, and poking out. Damn, I thought to myself. I told her straight up, I have always wanted to see you out of uniform. Damn, I knew you had a nice body. She just laughed and said that I was crazy. Before we left the mall, we got some Chinese food from the food court, sat down to talk. Christina complained that her boyfriend had changed and was not treating her right. She questioned why her boyfriend had stopped giving her compliments. Now, even though I like Christina, I would never advise her to leave her boyfriend simply because he was an idiot. Instead, I gave her some good advice and said to try and work things out with him. I didn't want her to think I would be just putting the dude down because I liked her. Because this was the first time we'd had a chance to really talk outside of work, and she spoke to me about certain things, I opened up to her a little about my troubled upbringing. I told her how, as a teenager, I didn't have many friends. Christina revealed a little about her life as well. Eventually, we discovered a major thing we had in common. Both of our parents were drug addicts. After we left the mall, I gave Christina a big hug. She thanked me for meeting up with her to listen and said that it made her feel better. I'd already had at least 20 fantasies about her after that green dress. Flash forward to January 2017, when my life was about to change. Now, I had left my job at the restaurant towards the end of 2016, and I had not seen Christina in months. But she and I had a mutual coworker friend, Craig, who invited me to a birthday party he was throwing at a bar. Craig told me that he invited a lot of his coworkers, but most of them did not show up. I asked him if he had invited Christina because I had not seen her in a while, and Craig smiled. He probably knew that I liked her. He nodded. That night at the party, it was getting late, and I still had her number in my phone, so I sent her a text asking why she didn't arrive yet. It was around midnight, and she didn't respond. However, the next morning, she left me a voicemail saying that it was good to hear from me and that she was sorry she didn't make it to the party. She asked if we could meet up a few days later in New York to hang out. We ended up meeting at McDonald's in Times Square. My heart instantly jumped when I saw her, and I quickly gave her a hug. Since we both wanted to drink, she suggested a popular bar that she liked, just a couple of blocks away. Over drinks, she began telling me how much she hated her job, and as a former employee, I understood. As she explained what was happening in her life, I couldn't help gazing into her eyes and staring at her face because she was just so mesmerizing. She noticed and jokingly asked why I was staring. I told her I felt some kind of energy that was making my body react to her presence. I told her I couldn't control myself, and it had her laughing. Eventually, she mentioned that she and her boyfriend were not together anymore. They had broken off the relationship just a month ago. Hearing her say that was literally music to my ears. She told me they were still sharing an apartment though, which didn't bother me at the time. We were supposed to part ways after the bar, but we decided to go to Dave & Buster's to play some games. While we were getting a game card, I started flirting with her, telling her how sexy she was. She blushed and said teasingly, "Jay, stop." I tried to lean in and give her a kiss, but she playfully backed away. "I really want to kiss you," I muttered behind her ears. She just smiled and changed the subject. I challenged her to a game of basketball. Well, she ended up kicking my ass for 5 games straight. After, she grabbed my dick through my pants a few times while we strolled around the arcade, and I could not help but grab her ass a couple of times too. We were both quite tipsy, and we were feeling good. After playing 2 more games, Christina said she wanted to see a movie. Toward the middle of the movie, she rested her head on my shoulder, and I felt all warm inside. We rubbed our temples together. She leaned in close and tongue-kissed me. I couldn't think straight anymore. The fact that she'd initiated our first kiss made me more excited. It felt like I was in heaven, and not just because I hadn't kissed a girl in a long time. My body twitched. I felt like I had fallen in love already. Damn, that kiss was so perfectly timed and invigorating. After the movie, Christina shrugged and said that she didn't like it because the couple did not end up being together and living happily ever after. "Really?" I giggled. "The entire movie was good, and you didn't like it overall because it didn't have a cliche ending?" "That's right," she said. I laughed and told her that was ridiculous. It was about 10:30 p.m. when we got out of the movie. I asked her if she was hungry, and she said yes. With that, we ended up turning our hangout into an actual date. I took her to my favorite restaurant, Havana. I offered to take her coat off and placed it on her chair. They sat us across from one another, so after we ordered our food, I moved and sat next to her so that I could feel closer to her. I ordered my usual chicken and rice, and she got the steak and rice. Her steak didn't come out the way she expected it to, and I suggested that we could share my chicken. She agreed. She refused to tell the server to get a new order, so I let her take the rest of my food with her home. When we were done eating, and I paid and tipped the waiter, she said that she was glad that I'd done that because it was a turn-on for her, and that previous dates she had with guys, they didn't tip. I held out her coat and helped her put it on. we walked through Times Square, and although it was chilly, it was still a beautiful night. Eventually, I walked her to her bus stop. "Thank you for this day and for treating me like a lady," Christina said to me. "No problem. A woman should always be treated this way," I said, smiling softly. Then she looked me in the eye and asked me to give her a kiss. I gladly did and told her to text or call me when she got home. She told me to get home safe as well. Then we parted. It was about 1 a.m. by then. I got home feeling wonderful inside, like a little kid getting some candy, as I texted her the only picture we took together at the bar. I wish we had taken more pictures that night while we were out. I went to bed, not realizing that was the best date we would ever have. The next couple of days, I sent her texts which had long gaps in responses. The first text I sent to her was a picture of myself, and then a few hours later, I sent her another asking if she was having a nice day. She called me the next morning. I missed the call because I was about to shower, but she left me a voicemail saying that we were playing phone tag and that she was going to work. I called her right back, but she did not answer. I then texted her, "I wasn't playing phone tag. I left you a voicemail letting you know I was going to call after I was out of the shower. I really wanted to talk to you. Hope I get to hear your voice today. Have a good day at work and make a lot of money." Figured I wouldn't call or text her anymore that day to give her some space. She sent me a good morning text the following day, and I called and talked to her a bit before she had to go to work. I asked her if she wanted to go see another movie with me that weekend, and she agreed. I decided I was going to get her a gift since she told me she bought her ex a lot of stuff and he didn't get her anything. I don't usually just go out and start buying stuff for a woman this early, but I wanted to do something special for her. So I went to the store and bought her a nice bottle of perfume. The next day, I called Christina a few times before we were supposed to meet, but she didn't pick up my calls. Disappointed, I waited a little longer before texting her, asking where she was, and reminded her of the movie time. She texted me, "I'll call you soon, but I can't make it because I have to go to Staten Island." I didn't want to express to her that I was mad, so I just sent her a text saying, "Don't worry about it." Still, she didn't text me back. I ended up throwing the perfume in the garbage since they didn't offer a refund where I bought it. I went to the movies alone again, and the entire time I felt like crap, but still imagined her sitting next to me. I didn't hit her up again until the following week when I texted her asking if she'd made it back safe from Staten Island. She called me a few seconds later asking if we could meet up for an hour since she had her ex-boyfriend's car and was driving. We met at Dunkin' Donuts and sat in the car as she told me how she had gotten into online gambling. She apologized, saying that she didn't mean to leave me hanging for the movie date, and I said no problem. Somehow, our 1 hour meetup turned into 3 hours of talking. We just had an incredible vibe, and in no time, I began flirting with her again, making her blush and telling her how much I liked her. She told me that she was not ready to jump into anything since she had just gotten out of a 1.5 year relationship. She just wanted to be friends. I told her I didn't want to be stuck in the friend zone because I'd already had 2 bad experiences in the past, and one of those female friends ended up breaking my heart after I fell in love with her. "I don't want any other girl. I don't care about any other girl. I want you, Christina," I said to her as I gazed into her eyes. I assured Christina that I was not trying to make her my girlfriend right away and that I understood her situation, but I still wanted to see her and hang out sometimes as more than just friends. After I assured her that I would take things slow with her, we began making out again. "Guess this means we aren't going to be friends now, huh?" I said to her jokingly, and she smiled sheepishly. I had been planning a trip to Atlantic City that weekend, and I mentioned that I would like for her to join me since she was stressing herself out and needed a getaway. I told her that I'd get a room for a couple of nights and we could gamble, relax in the jacuzzi together, and even watch movies in the room. She told me she would give it some thought. The following week, I texted her sometimes, but she rarely responded. I sent her a picture and asked for hers, which she did not send. When Friday came, I sent her a text letting her know that I was thinking about her, and I added a smiley face expecting a response, but I never got one. She called me several hours later, and we talked for about 5 minutes. At this point, I was getting fed up. Not only because was she not communicating well through text, but also because she never called much. On Saturday, I decided not to call or text her just to see if she would do it first. I waited until 2 in the morning and did not get a beep from her. I started suspecting she would cancel on me again. Sunday came. I packed, got on the bus, and all through the entire ride still did not hear from her. When I got to the train station, she finally called about 10 minutes before we were supposed to meet up. For some reason, I just knew she was going to cancel on me. I anticipated disappointment again, flashing back to her canceling our movie date, so I decided to ignore her calls. She called again 5 minutes later and then again in 10 minutes. She once told me that she never leaves voicemails, so I had no idea what she was going to say, and even though I'd ignored her calls, she still didn't try texting me. I started feeling anger swell up inside and felt abandoned. When I got to the bus station, I started crying. I just kept hoping that maybe she would still show up with her bag, but she didn't. I ended up crying almost the entire trip down there. I felt miserable that day. I got drunk and went to my room early. I stayed up until about 2 a.m., and the entire time I kept looking at my phone, anticipating her call or text, but I got nothing. I decided to leave early the next morning. On the bus ride back, I started listening to some R&B music while thinking about her and began crying more. I called her, but she did not pick up. A couple hours later, when I got back to the bus station in New York, I tried calling again, but she did not answer. Then I tried texting her and got no response. I grabbed a beer and sat for another hour until I texted her again, apologizing for not answering her call and that I wanted to explain what happened. If only she could text or call me back. When I got no response, I texted her the last time saying, "Baby, I miss you." I waited until the morning before trying to call her again, but got no answer. I texted her saying that I would give her space and that she should call me when she wanted to talk. She immediately called me back. I asked her to tell me honestly if she was really going to meet me that day or if she planned to cancel on me. She assured me that she'd already packed her things and she had gotten her hair, nails, and feet done the day before. I asked her why she didn't just leave me a voicemail or text that day telling me that she was ready, ask me where I was, or at least say she could not wait to meet me. Her response was that she didn't need to. That hurt, but I still told her that not leaving voicemails could cause unnecessary problems. We eventually made up, and I told her that I really wanted to see her that day. She had to work, so we agreed on a time for me to meet her on her break. I felt like I'd messed up, so I decided to go buy an apology gift. It started raining, and although I hate traveling in the rain, I knew I just had to see her. I literally spent about 2 hours looking for something, and I ended up buying a teddy bear with a nice card. I called when I got to her job, but she didn't answer. Then, after texting her and waiting for almost an hour, I got a call back saying she was sorry and that she did not see my call. When she met me in the food court, I said, "Hey, I got you a little something." She said, "I don't know why." As we began walking through the mall, I could tell that Christina was still upset. I offered to buy her dinner, but she said that she was not hungry and that we could just sit and talk. When we sat down, I apologized to her again and promised not to ignore her calls. She said, "Jay, I don't need your promises." I got her to laugh a little and began rubbing her legs. I jokingly told her that I wanted to marry her and got on one knee. Jokingly, she said, "Jay, what are you doing? Get up." I tried to kiss her, but she moved her head and told me that she did not want to kiss me because that was her place of business. I just thought that was a shallow excuse she gave because she was mad at me. After she finished putting in her tip money, I began walking her back toward her job. She assured me that she was no longer mad. I tried kissing her again, but she would not let me. That was when she said some completely random thought to me. "I want to have a threesome. I've never had one." I was just thinking in my head, that's kind of cool, but why are you telling me this now? I ignored the comment, gave her a hug, and she went back to work. The next day, I sent Christina a seductive picture of me licking my lips, and she never responded. I decided to give her some space and didn't hear from her until 2 whole days later, saying good morning. She called me a little later and we spoke for about 3 minutes before she told me she had to go. The next day, I sent her a text saying that if she had some free time, she could let me know. She responded 4 hours later saying that she was in Staten Island running around all day, handling something with her family. I responded, no problem, and did not bother her. The next day, I texted her saying I hoped that she was having fun in Staten Island and that I wished we could have hung out that day. I also told her that I wanted to see her, and one day soon I wanted to cook her dinner. The next day, she called me while I was eating at a buffet. She told me what she did in Staten Island and that she had a good time. While we were talking, I asked her to be my Valentine, since Valentine's Day was right around the corner. She was amused, and she said, "Are you serious, Jay?" I told her that I was, and then she said yes. I got excited over the phone, and she started laughing. I told her I would think of something we could do and let her know. I told her I would call her back after I finished eating. And when I got off of the phone, I was shocked to find that she had sent me a nice photo of herself. Damn, I thought, referring to her beauty. Right behind that picture came a text saying, "You make me feel special, Jay." She called me back saying that she missed me and just wanted to hear my voice, and I told her the same. Then she sent me another text saying she thought I was a nice person. She asked me to send her a picture of myself, and when I got home, I did. Then I began flirting with her again, and this time she responded to me. I told her how much I missed her lips, and she said the same. We flirted even more, and when I told her, though there are so many things I wanted to do to her that she would not even believe, she responded saying, "Boy, you shouldn't be talking to your friends like this." Then I texted her. I told her she was the only one I spoke to that way. We stopped texting after that. Christina called me the next day and told me how much she liked me and that she really missed me. We talked for about 2 hours, and during our conversation, she brought up the fact that she never wanted kids. I told her how much I love kids and how good I was with them. I told her I understood that nurturing side from my mother's side and that I wanted to have a daughter one day. "See, that's another reason we shouldn't get involved with each other, Jay. You want kids and I don't," she said. I reminded her that nothing is set in stone and that was no reason not to pursue each other. She felt as though she would be hindering me from experiencing fatherhood. I told her that things can easily change, that I might decide not to have a kid, and that she may also change her mind and end up wanting a child in the future. When she was done, I began to tell her that I missed her so much because I hadn't seen her in a while. All I wanted to do more than anything was to be next to her, kiss her, hold her, and just be close to her. When she said she wanted the same thing, I asked her to meet up with me that night, but she made up an excuse not to. The next night, I sent Christina a text message saying, "Hope I'm not distracting you," along with a seductive picture of myself with no shirt on. She did not respond, and I started to get frustrated again because I really wanted to hear her response. She was terrible with communication, but I liked her so much that I continued to tolerate it. Later that night, I sent her a kiss and a text, and then she replied asking what that was for. I got a little mad, but ignored it. I asked her if we could meet up for breakfast the next morning before she went to work. She replied that she did not want to meet too early in the morning and that we could meet up a couple of days later instead. The next morning, I sent her a text saying, "The sun is shining bright today, but nothing shines brighter than you. Good morning and have a good day." She never responded. So much later, I sent her another silly text saying, "You are running through my mind like fried chicken in a fat person's head." She did not respond until hours later, asking how my day was. I felt beyond aggravated that she had ignored everything I said before, but I told her I did some reading and exercise. She responded that work was slow for her, and she was about to leave work and do some online gambling. I told her how much I thought about her all day, and that I would leave her alone to do all that she had to do, but wanted to confirm if I was going to see her the next day before work, and she replied yes. I was going to take her to IHOP for breakfast. I sent her a text asking her where she wanted to meet up, but she did not respond. She called me later in the morning and told me to meet her in New York. When we met up, I was hoping she would try to kiss me, but she did not. so I didn't say or do anything about it, even though I wanted to kiss her badly. She complimented me that I smelled good, like a man. I usually wear cologne, and for some reason, I got confused for a split second and thought to myself, I am a man, and I should smell good, and I told her so. We ate at this breakfast spot that she said was good. As we sat across from each other, I could not help but stare into her eyes. What? She asked, looking straight into my eyes. I just can't stop staring at you, I said. Well, stop, she jokingly said. We had a cool conversation until her mother called and she left the table for a few minutes. She apologized when she got back and I told her it was fine. When we finished eating, I asked her if there was a Dunkin' Donuts around because I wanted a coffee. She said yes, so we went, sat, and talked some more. During the conversation, she told me that she was possessive. I wasn't sure what she meant by that and asked if that meant that she was controlling or jealous, but she never really gave me a response. While talking, she began staring into my eyes and gazing at my face like she was a little kid in love. I really enjoyed watching her looking at me like she wanted to just jump on top of me and tongue kiss me nonstop. At one point, she leaned in close towards me while checking some poker stuff on her phone. When she did that, I leaned in and pecked her a couple of times on the lips. Stop, Jay. You're going to make me fall, she said. I'm sure she meant fall in love with me. I just laughed at myself. I began to rub on her legs in a slightly sensual way, and she seemed very relaxed. After we left and walked towards the bus stop, she started laughing. What? I asked her. Nothing, she said, as she just kept on laughing. I insisted that she tell me what was so funny. She told me that she was horny and wet inside of her pants and that her juices were dripping down her leg. Instantly, my dick got hard, and I told her that I was horny too and that I wanted her so bad. She told me that she was thinking about calling out of work and taking me to her apartment, but she felt that it was too soon to invite me over. I started whispering naughty things into her ear. I showed her my hard dick since I was not wearing any underwear that day under my sweatpants, and she seemed to enjoy it as we continued walking. As much as I wanted to fuck the living hell out of her, she just kept procrastinating about going to her place. I tried to convince her that we can go to a nice hotel, but she decided to go to work anyway. As we kissed, I gave her a big, loving kind of hug, and she said out of nowhere, Jay, let go of me. That made me feel strange, but I let it slide. Then she said, I don't want to leave you. And she had a sad expression. I did not text or call her for the rest of the day, but she called me later and we talked a little until she said she had to go quickly because she was still at work. The next morning, we talked on the phone for a bit while she was getting dressed. She told me that she really missed me and that she had a good time with me the other day. Then she told me she had to go study her strategy for a few hours for her online gambling and that we would talk later. I asked her if she wanted to go out on Saturday, but she said that she was going to hang out with her friend Keisha. After we hung up, I sent her a text picture of some food I was eating, and when she did not respond, I figured I would give her some space again, so I decided not to bother her for the rest of the day. The next day, I decided to go hang out at my mother's house. I talked to her almost all day about Christina until we started watching some TV shows. She cooked dinner for me, and then I went home. I hadn't heard from Christina yet, but I figured she was having a nice time with Keisha, so I didn't bother her. The next day, I still did not hear from her all day, and I began to worry a little since she still hadn't responded to my food text, and it had been 3 days. I tried calling, but she did not answer any of my calls. I waited until a little later and called again, but no answer. I started to worry she was trying to play me out or that I had scared her off. I was confused, and I really did not know what to think. Worried, I called my mother and told her it had been 3 days without hearing from Christina. I began to cry, and she could hear the pain in my voice. My mother kept encouraging me and telling me that she was probably okay and that I should try to give her the benefit of the doubt. But I already had given her that. So I ended up sending Christina a long text, which read, I'm texting you this message because I'm not going to keep calling you. What's up with you? I've always given you your space. I have not heard from you in 3 days now. I sent you a text on Friday after we talked that morning and did not hear back. It boggles me that you would rather spend all day with online gambling than spend time with someone you say you miss, like, and have feelings for. Especially since the day before you were telling me you wished you could call out of work so you could stay with me. We had a good time on Thursday. Even if you did hang out with your friend on Saturday, you still could have called or texted me. All day Sunday not hearing from you as well? Here I am, feeling like a fucking idiot, constantly thinking about you, missing you, telling my best friend about you, talking to my mother about you, telling her how wonderful you make me feel, wondering where you are and why you have not reached out to me. I could not even concentrate watching the Super Bowl because I had you on my mind. All I have been doing is thinking about you. Thinking about your smile, your eyes, and even holding you. And honestly, I want to be intimate with you, and I thought that is what you wanted too, since we have sexual chemistry. I feel like the connection we have is electrifying. At least that is what I feel when I am around you. I have gone out of my way, once in the pouring rain, to come see you at work, then came to see you close to your home. I am up here racking my brain, planning to do something nice for Valentine's Day to make you feel special, but you vanish on me? I mean, what do you want me to say, Christina? My feelings for you are true and genuine, and I would not pour them all out like this, but you leave me no choice. I have not felt this way in a long time, and you know you are special to me because I have shown it as much as I can without overdoing it. You tell me how you feel about me, yet you keep pulling back and pushing me away. I am over here shedding a tear because it hurts even typing all of this, but I cannot help the way I feel about you. But if you don't want me to care, tell me, and I won't. She still didn't reply to that text message. So I became even sadder. I decided to stay at my mother's house, and I ended up drinking a lot of alcohol and crying in the guest room alone. I would just stay up all day and night, drunk, crying, looking at her picture, and anticipating her call or text. 5 days passed. At long last, I finally got a call from Christina while I was outside walking with my mother. I asked her if she was okay and told her how worried I was about her. She said that she was okay, but that she did not like the text message I'd sent to her. Well, at least some of it. I told her she could not blame me because I hadn't heard from her in 5 days. She didn't get too upset about it, but she expressed her concern. She told me she left her cell phone at her apartment by accident because she had a family emergency in Staten Island. She'd missed everyone's calls and texts while she was away. It sounded a little shady, not only to me, but to my mother as well. But I overlooked it and was just relieved to hear her voice. Skeptical, I did tell her that it was a little hard to believe what she said, but that I would take her word for it. I told Christina that I was about to go hang out in New York and that I really wanted to spend the day with her. She said that she was just coming back from Staten Island and that she would be home in an hour. It was early afternoon. I told her to let me know as soon as she could and that I would wait for her. She agreed. We both said we missed each other and ended the call. As soon as we got off the phone, she sent me a text saying, "I'm not going to come to the city once I get home. I'll probably pass out. Maybe another time. Enjoy your day with your mom." I sent her a text right back saying, "Are you serious right now? After what I just went through, not hearing from you and worrying for 5 days, you just said you miss me and did not mean to make me or my mom worry. How do you miss somebody and not care to see them? That does not add up. I was not planning on going to the city with my mother. I was going all by myself, which is why I wanted you to join me in the first place. I said I wanted to see you, and you're going to sleep all day? So what other time now, Christina? You told me you called out of work today, and I'm pretty sure you'll work tomorrow. And I am not even sure about the weekends anymore because you're always doing something and giving me an excuse not to see me. I have been more than patient with you." Her reply, which infuriated me, read, "I don't think you know what I'm going through now, and I'm starting to think you don't care. I'm not even home yet, so if you want to be a smartass, then no, I'm not going to be asleep all day. I just have a lot on my mind, and I don't feel like being in the city, but I'm not explaining myself. I shouldn't have to, but I keep doing it for you because I thought we were friends. After reading her response, I kept thinking to myself, this chick is crazy, talking out of her ass to me when I never deserved that. And she is talking about us being friends when clearly we are more than that. I told my mother what she said to me, and she could not believe it. She said that it was obvious Christina was blind to my heart, and that something was seriously wrong with the girl. At that point, I decided to end things with her. I texted her back saying, listen, I'm done. I can't keep dealing with your back and forth shit with me. It's disrespectful. God knows I have been nothing but nice to you and showing you that I care and wanting to be around you. And you're fucking talking about I don't care? Have you not seen how insanely patient and understanding I have been with you? Have you been reading your text messages? Have you heard my voicemails? If you can't see that, then there is something wrong with you. I can't believe you are speaking to me this way. Please put yourself in my shoes. I am sure you would not feel happy about any of this. I do not want to put it this way, but you're the only one doing and saying all this negative shit, and that's a bad way to be. Take care. Now there is no back and forth, and you finally got what you wanted. None of me. And friendship is out of the question. Don't call me or text me again. Not like you did much anyway, only on your time. After that, I waited 4 days to see if she would call me or text, but she didn't. I wanted to see if she really cared about me the way she said she did. A week before that day, I had pre-ordered 24 roses and some chocolate to be delivered to her job for Valentine's Day. Even though she hurt me and I had cut her off, I still wanted to give her that gift, so I did not cancel the order. As much as I tried to resist, I ended up giving in and calling her again the day before Valentine's Day. I ended up going to a singles party at some club so I could try to get my mind off her, but that did not work. I met a couple of hot girls, and one of them wanted me to go back to her place and have sex, but I turned her down because of Christina. I realized I was in love with Christina. When I called her the first 3 times, she did not answer my calls. But I had a feeling she would not pick up because she was at work. I decided to leave her a long voicemail, pouring out all my feelings once more and telling her how much I missed her and that I was sorry and that I could not picture not having her in my life. During my message, I began crying, and at the end, I came out and told her that I loved her. I guess the L word made her feel some type of way because she called me back about 5 minutes later. I was out at Hooters having a couple of beers. I expressed my feelings again, and we decided to keep talking, and I felt a little better after we got off the phone. The next day, she called me on her break and said that someone had stolen her package and that she did not even know it was from me until I told her over the phone. She said that one of her coworkers must have taken it because it had made it to her restaurant and some of the other coworkers saw it there for her. I could perceive how upset she was that someone would take something that was intended for her. I told her what the card said, something romantic. We didn't talk long because she had to get back to work. So I texted her when she finished work saying, "You okay, babe?" She responded back, "I'm fine, just got home, and my day sucked. But I'm going to let my phone charge. Where are you?" I texted her, "Sorry to hear that. I hopped on the train heading back home from New York. I am so sorry that someone took your package. Like I said, it was for me and I had flowers, chocolate, and a card for you. I cannot believe some pussy stole it. I spent $100 on that." Then she said, "I'm sorry. I feel so bad." I responded, "Don't worry. Karma is a bitch. I will get you more flowers though. You deserve them. Damn, I miss you so much. My day was horrible without you. I had so much planned for you. The other day we were supposed to celebrate." She responded, "Have a good night, and I'll call you in the morning so we can really talk." We spoke the following morning for about 2 hours about me cutting her off, the whole flower incident, and just how we both felt about each other. She told me that she cared deeply for me, but she was scared. I assured her that there was nothing to be scared of. I also told her that I wanted to make up for her gift and that I would bring more flowers to her job and go see her. She told me a couple of times not to bring her flowers, but I insisted and told her that a beautiful woman deserves beautiful flowers and that I felt like I owed it to her. She told me that I could meet her at work on her break again. I went to a few flower shops until I found the perfect bunch for her. She met me by the food court again, and when I saw her, she was glowing and looking so gorgeous. When I surprised her with the flowers, she said with a straight face, "I told you not to bring me flowers." I was a little pissed, but I ignored that comment. We talked for a while as she put her tips in and started playing online poker again. I kept an arm around her and massaged her neck and shoulders, and she began massaging my neck and head a little. In that moment, I felt comfort and love, and I wanted it to last forever. Finally, we took another picture together, and I thought we looked great, especially since I had this nice shirt I wore for her. When we parted ways, we kissed again, and I told her I didn't want to leave her. As I left, I texted her the picture we took together, and she texted me back saying, "I look a mess." I responded, "Hell no, you look like an angel from heaven. Get out of here." Laugh out loud. We look gorgeous together. Then I texted her letting her know I got home and asked her to let me know when she got back, but I didn't hear from her. The next morning, I called her. She told me that she was not feeling well and that she had cried. She added that she was just getting tired of certain things, but she would not tell me exactly what they were, except that she hated her job. She said that she was sick of everyone there. I tried comforting her as best as I could. Then later in the day, I texted her a link to one of my silly YouTube videos and told her I hoped that it made her smile. The next day was Saturday. As we texted a little, she asked me what my plans were. I told her that I was going to hang out in New York. I was going to ask her to meet me, but I decided to give her space. I did not text her again after that, and she called me later. She told me that she would be hanging out with her coworker, Keisha, again. She sent me a text a few hours later of some Groupon deal at a Spanish restaurant in New York. I found out weeks later that she was subliminally trying to tell me that she wanted us to go out on a date there sometime soon, but we never ended up going, thanks to her. I let her enjoy her time with her friend and later tried to call her around 10:30 p.m. She did not answer, so I sent her a text telling her to call me back when she could. She ended up calling me that night around 1:30 a.m., sounding extremely drunk as she slurred her words, talking gibberish. "Jay, I want to see you. I want you. I want to have sex with you," she said. I told her that I wanted her too, but she was in a town far from where I was, and it was impossible to get to her at that moment. We talked more, and she told me that she had a good time and that she really wanted me to hold her. I told her that I would call her back and see if I could get us a hotel room for the night. After I found the hotel, I was going to send her an Uber to bring her to me so we could go, but she was not answering the phone when I called back. I must have called her about 5 times, left her a couple of voicemails, and sent a text telling her I hoped that she was all right and to call me back. After 20-something minutes went by, I called Keisha and asked her if Christina was fine, and she told me that she was heavily intoxicated and had passed out on the couch. I told Keisha to make sure she took care of her and to have her call me in the morning. Christina sent me a text in the afternoon saying hi, and I replied, "Hey, sleepyhead. Glad you are good. Drunk as hell leaving me hanging, LOL." Then she said, "I was. Did we talk?" I told her about the hotel and that I was going to have her meet me. I told her that I was glad she enjoyed herself, and I asked how she was feeling. She said she felt sad that she had drank so much the previous night, and even sadder that she did not remember all that had happened. I told her not to think about it and comforted her. It was around 2:08 p.m., and I was hoping she would want to see me, but I knew she was probably hungover, so I didn't mention it. I told her to get enough rest and then sent her a text saying, "Oh, and for future reference, if you ever feel like you want to stay with me on an off day, or if you don't want to go back home after work, just let me know. My mother has a guest room at her place, and sometimes I stay there. You can come stay with me anytime. Just try to let me know a little beforehand. Plus, it is mad chill there." She responded afterwards saying thanks. Later that night, we talked on the phone, and I asked her if she wanted to go out with me on her day off. She said she wanted to invite Craig, the cool ex-coworker of mine whose birthday party I'd gone to. By this point, I was a little more frustrated because this was now the third time she kept trying to invite someone along when I obviously wanted it to just be the two of us so we could get to know each other better. Once again, I tolerated it because I really wanted to see her. When I got to TGI Fridays, Craig was a little late, and Christina showed up about 45 minutes late as well. She apologized and said that she had taken an Uber from her place. We all laughed and had a good time until something happened that made me confused and annoyed again. I took out my phone because I wanted to take pictures of us to remember that moment, but Christina caught an attitude and told me that I took bad pictures and should not take any. I kept my cool and said, okay, then let Craig take some pictures. He took a few and I liked how they came out, but as usual, she always said she looked a mess. What got me even more pissed was that she got up, sat next to Craig, and began taking all these Snapchat pictures with the two of them like there was no problem. I thought that was very disrespectful, but I tolerated that as well. After we left the restaurant and got to the bowling alley, things got a little better since we were all intoxicated. While we were bowling, Christina went up and got her ball, turned to me, and said something I'd been waiting for years to hear a woman say to me. "Jay, I love you," she said. My heart instantly jumped for joy. "I love you too," I said back to her as she rolled the ball. When Christina came back towards me, she leaned in between my legs and started kissing me. Then she turned around, and as I held her in my arms at that moment, I was thinking to myself, damn, finally I found love again. I really love this woman. She is beautiful, fun, makes me smile and feel warm whenever I am around her. She is my heart, and I'm going to protect and take care of her the best that I can, forever and always. A little later during one of the games, she came over and started talking freaky to me. "Jay," she started, "I was touching myself last night thinking about you." "Really?" I said, surprised. I continued, "I want you so bad. Baby, you have no idea. I'm going to tear that pussy up, and I'm going to fuck you so well you will be begging for more." That was when she told me that she was wet again. We kissed some more, and I rubbed on her ass a little. She ended up sitting in my lap a couple of times and, of course, ended up getting my dick hard in the process. Then she bit me a few times in a sensual way, but the last one was too hard and it really hurt. "Ouch!" I yelled. "You know you like it," she said. I can't front that I did, though. Now, I don't know how this next argument got started, but I began thinking to myself, oh God, here we go again. Christina started crying and saying, "Jay, I can't do this. What do you want from me? You don't care about me." "What are you talking about, Christina? I have been here, and I'm not going anywhere. I love you, and I have supported you. I gave you space, and I never rushed anything with you," I said. "No, you are lying. You don't care," she kept saying. I got fed up and told her I was leaving once again. "Jay, where are you going?" she screamed. "You aren't leaving, are you? Don't leave me, Jay." Craig was sitting there the whole time, finding the scene that was taking place hard to believe. Christina ended up walking past me, and she walked out before me. Craig followed behind, and I walked out a couple of minutes later to go check on her. She was sitting with Craig next to some car in the parking lot. "Jay, don't come over here. Don't come over here, I'm telling you," she warned me. I sat about 20 feet away by another car and just listened to them talk. "Jay does not care about me. He does not give a shit about my feelings," she said. "Yes, he does. That man loves you," Craig said to her. I had a puddle of tears in my eyes, and I was crying like a baby, finding it so hard to believe the words I was hearing come out from her mouth. I began talking to myself. Why is she saying these things? I have been good to her, and she keeps acting crazy towards me. Craig came over to me, and I told him the same thing. "I don't know why she is acting like that, man. I could tell you really love her," he said. "I do, very much," I said. I sat down, and Craig went back to Christina. He talked her into coming over and talking to me. "Jay, I don't know what you want from me. I can't do this. It's just too much. I'm sorry," she said while still crying. We made up for about 20 seconds until she started acting crazy and yelling again. "Jay, don't talk to me. You just don't care." Then she walked away as I continued to cry. After she talked to Craig again for 5 minutes, she came back and sat next to me yet again. By this point, the temperature had dropped and I did not have a coat on. "It's so cold," I said while shivering. "Don't do that, Jay," she said. I guess she was feeling bad for me. "Christina, I love you," I began. "I really do, and all I want to do is be with you." "Jay, I can't do this," she repeated. I got up and started walking away. I told Christina that I was leaving to go home. I told Craig to make sure she got home safe. I apologized to him and told him that she was crazy and that I couldn't deal with that scene anymore. I told him I'd hit him up later. I had to walk down a long hill. It took me about 40 minutes to walk home in the freezing cold. While I was walking, Christina tried to call me about 7 times, and I kept ignoring her calls, even as I was still crying. She left one voicemail. It said, "Jay, this is the last time I'm calling you. Bye." She called me again around 2:30 in the morning, and I finally answered. "Jay, I'm sorry. I did not mean to hurt you," she said. "It's okay, Christina," I said to her. We talked for about 20 minutes, then we both went to sleep. The next morning, we spoke on the phone again, and while we were talking, I heard her moaning. "Are you playing with yourself?" I asked. "Mm-hmm," she replied. "Damn, you're gonna make me start humping my pillow," I said. Just then, I started doing exactly that. I began humping my pillow and moaning along with her while she played with her pussy. She told me that she squirted, which is something I had never seen a girl do, but I'd always wanted to experience. She ended up coming twice while moaning my name. The third time she told me she was about to come, I exploded in my pants while moaning her name. Even when I finished, she continued one more time, having another orgasm. She told me that her couch was soaking wet, and I told her that I was known for giving multiple orgasms, and that would not be a problem once we started fucking. After we had phone sex, I asked if she wanted to come by my mother's house since I was planning to go there, and she agreed. I texted her a picture of my bruised arm where she'd bitten me the night before. She said that she was sorry, but I told her it was okay and she didn't have to worry about it since it turned me on. Christina showed up around 3. She was wearing a V-neck shirt that she said Keisha had bought her. She looked good in it. I helped take her jacket off and put it away for her. The two of us went into the living room and Christina sat on the leather couch. I was watching one of my favorite movies called The Brave One on my mother's huge 60-inch flat screen. I sat on the other couch and told Christina to come lay next to me. She came over and we snuggled under a light blanket. I felt so much comfort laying there holding her in my arms. "Are you okay, babe?" I asked her. "Yes, I'm fine, Jay." Afterwards, we went in the guest room for some privacy. We lay next to each other on the bed and got comfortable. I offered her something to drink, and she said she wanted some water, so I got her some. I told Christina I was about to order some food, asked if she was hungry. She said she was. I asked her what she wanted, and she said she wanted whatever I was having. I wanted Papa John's pizza, so I ordered it for both of us. We watched some TV and talked very little because, for the most part, we just wanted to enjoy the physical connection. It felt so strong, and all we wanted to do was to cuddle each other and lay there. We started making out, and I kissed her all over her face 1,000,000 times, told her that I loved her, and started telling her all over again how special she was to me. At one point, when I went to the bathroom and I came back in, I saw her taking pictures of herself on my cell phone. That made me feel somewhat special, and I could not wait to see them. "You can stay with me if you want, baby," I said, even though she had work the next day. "I don't want to leave you, Jay," she replied. We started getting intensely hot and heavy under the covers. It was around 1 in the morning now. Now, I was not planning to have sex with her in my mother's house, but I had been drinking and there was a lot of sexual tension in the air. We began making out again, and I was kissing Christina all over her neck and caressing her whole body with my mouth. "I want you, baby. I want to feel you. I want to taste that sweet pussy," I said to her. She moaned softly. "Jay, I'm so wet." I continued kissing her and began rubbing on her breasts. She then took off her shirt and pants, and she had on this nice black thong. I began rubbing all over her ass while talking freaky to her. I reached down in her panties and felt her wet pussy. Damn, I thought. She was soaking, and I tried to stick a finger in when she stopped me. I immediately smelled my finger because I'd always wondered what her juices smelled like, and she smelled good. I brought my fingers towards my mouth and began to suck her juices off while looking into her eyes. "You're a jerk," she said. I then showed her that I had a condom, which I would have gladly used, but I was so head over heels for Christina and so caught up in the moment that I wanted to make love to her without a condom. "Let me stroke you from the side, baby. I love you," I said to her. "Okay, you win, Jay. I want to feel you inside of me. I love you," she admitted, biting her lower lip. Truth be told, I had been hard for 10 good minutes, and when I took her panties off and tried to slide it in her, it wouldn't fit, literally. Even though she was wet, her pussy was so tight, I could not believe it. Then I tried to stick my finger in to try and get her open a little more. I did not want to slide my finger in too fast or far because I was afraid she might let out a loud moan and my mother might hear. She let me slide it in a little, but I could not even get half of my finger in. It was that tight. I started to get extremely frustrated because I was craving that pussy so bad. I decided to turn her around so her legs hung off the side of the bed and I got on my knees so I could eat her pussy. As soon as I put my mouth on her, she began pushing my head away. I tried to continue, but she kept stopping me. So I got up and lay down next to her. I was more frustrated now. My dick started going down, and she just lay next to me, telling me how wet she was and how much she wanted me. I was bewildered. After a while, I put her hand on my dick and tried to get her to stroke it so I would get hard again, but she was acting like she had no idea on how to jerk a dick, so I had to hold my hand over hers and pretty much forcibly do it for her. When I got hard again, she said, "Damn, Jay, it looks so good. I just want it in my mouth." "Go ahead and do it," I said to her. Then she moved down and began sucking on it. She was doing a decent job at it, and she stopped after about 1 minute. I was so pissed, but I said nothing. At that point, I already knew we were not going to be fucking that night because she was playing, and I got so angry that I put my underwear back on. We did not really talk about what happened, but the sexual tension slowly faded away. We ended up cuddling until halfway falling asleep. In the morning, we laid in bed for a few hours, watching TV and staring at each other like a couple in love. She told me more about her family, how she felt like they were never there for her, but she was always there for them, and that she had to raise her siblings on her own. It made me feel good to know that she was comfortable opening up to me about rough things like that. I told her that my family sucked too, and a little bit more of how my childhood was, something we both related to. My mother had to go out for a few hours, so when she left, I went into her room to see if she had some lubricant because I really wanted to have sex with Christina, and I wanted the penetration to go smooth this time. I told her that I stole the lubricant I found in my mom's room in a joking manner. "What kind of freaky stuff is your mom into?" she joked. We started making out again, and I started rubbing on her pussy a little. Then she leaned upwards and started rubbing my dick through my pants, getting me hard. "Let's have sex, babe. I really want to feel you," I said. She kept procrastinating about 3 more times when I kept trying to initiate the sex. And the final time, she said something to me that made me extremely confused and exasperated. "I'm going to practice abstinence," she said. "You don't even use condoms. Is that how you roll?" I told her that I always use a condom, but since I wanted to make love to a special woman, I decided not to. Anyway, how was she trying to judge me when she was ready to participate? We did not end up having sex, even though we had the whole house to ourselves for 5 hours. We continued lying next to each other while watching TV and making out. "Jay, hold me," she said, so I did. "I don't want to leave you, Jay." I don't want you to leave me either," I said. "You should call out of work and lay with me all day in bed, or we could go hang out somewhere. Anywhere you want to go, babe," I assured her. She did end up calling out of work to stay with me, but she decided she wanted to go home and study her gambling strategy to try and win some money instead. That is some bullshit, I thought to myself. She called an Uber right away, but before she left, I was in the kitchen bumping some rap music. I told her to come and sit in my lap. I held her in my arms for a minute and told her I loved her again and that I wished that she would stay with me. A minute after that, she got up saying, "Okay, back to reality." I told her that what we had was a reality and not just some dream. I decided to give her some space again for a couple of days, and we might have spoken briefly when she called me. She told me that she was feeling alone and she felt like no one cared about her and everyone always seemed to walk all over her. I assured her again that I was not that person because I had taken my time to prove it to her time and time again. Why couldn't she see that? I really wanted her to stay with me again that day, and judging by the way she spoke, I thought she wanted the same. 2 days later, I texted her the photos she took of herself on my phone, and she seemed to like them. She texted me a picture of hers of some food she was eating that she had cooked. I replied to her, "You are so special to me, and I will never let you go. You are not alone. You are an amazing woman, smart, beautiful, ambitious, and so much more." As usual, she did not respond to my words of encouragement. I also knew that she was feeling down on herself, so to try and cheer her up, I recorded audio of myself attempting to sing her a song, then texted it to her. She did not respond to that either. She called me the next day, and during our conversation, I asked her if she got my song, and she said yes. I asked her about her thoughts on it, and she said that it was cute, and she liked it. Then I began to wonder why she would not respond to the messages when she clearly got them. That turned me off, but I said nothing about it. She then told me that she was going back to Staten Island that weekend and she was thinking about getting a hotel for the two of us to stay in because she did not want to stay with her family. I told her to let me know and that I definitely wanted to go with her. Well, she did not let me know, and I was very disappointed. I ended up texting her saying, "Good morning. I just wanted to wish you a good time this weekend. Please be safe. I wish I could have come with you, though. I was really looking forward to spending more time with you. It would have been good for us. But I know you will be with your family. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to see you again." She completely went over what I said and responded with, "Morning, Jay. Have a great day today and enjoy the beautiful weather. What are your plans for the day?" I told her that I was probably going to the mall and that she could call me if she wanted anything while she was away. When she got back on Monday, we decided to meet up and talk. She told me that she wanted to take me to a restaurant for lunch. I brought up the three-way date topic because most times when I kept trying to spend time with just the two of us, she would always try to bring a third wheel along, like Keisha or Craig, which normally would not allow us to get comfortable as to knowing ourselves better. I told her it was fine if she invited a third party once in a while, but not every single time we wanted to see each other. When I told her a piece of my mind, she got smart with me about all I had said and started mocking me. Regardless, we still had a very interesting conversation at the restaurant. She told me that she was planning on taking a vacation soon. She asked me, "Jay, what if I meet a guy over there?" And I'm not saying I'm going to, but just what if I did meet one that wants to hang out, and maybe in his mind, he thinks it's a date. You know, that happens sometimes, and he decides to take it to the next level with me. What would you think? I told her if that happened, then naturally I would get upset because I had strong feelings for her. I told her that I already knew if she went away, that was a possibility, but she did not have to verbally paint the scenario for me. Then I asked her, "So what are you saying? You want to date other guys?" "No, Jay, that's not what I'm saying. What I mean is, I just want to have fun and I want to be free and live life a little," she said. My heart began melting and I began feeling sad. I told her that it did sound like she wanted to date other guys, and I thought that was really fucked up, and I reminded her of my feelings for her. She told me that she was scared, and I told her that I was scared too, and that she could not let past experiences ruin a good thing, especially since it seemed right. She also told me that I made her nervous for some reason. I sulked at the table a little while staring at her. Then I leaned in and gave her a kiss. "Listen," I started. "I love you, Christina, and I would never hurt you. I don't want to rush things, and I don't want to miss out on what could be either." Then I took a deep breath. "Maybe we should just take a break from each other." "Take a break from what?" she said. "From seeing each other. I will give you space, and I will wait as long as I can for you because I want to be with you that much," I said. "But what is all this?" she said, raising her hand. What are we doing? She asked again. Obviously, we are not friends. We are dating, whether you want to admit it or not. That is what we have been doing all this time. Friends don't kiss each other on the lips, hold hands romantically, and they certainly don't say they are in love with each other, I said. I began crying a little on the inside, but I felt like I had to give her an ultimatum. I was willing to wait for her, but she did not seem to want to choose. We did not come to a conclusion, but we both left feeling some type of way, mainly with me being confused and hurt. On the car ride back, as she was about dropping me off at the train station, she held my hand in her lap and told me that taking a break from each other was not a good idea. She then began telling me how much she cared for me. As much as it hurt me to say, I continued to tell her that taking a break was a good idea since she seemed to be too confused, even though she did not oblige. Before I got out of the car, she told me to give her a kiss. So we made out, and she told me to call her when I got home. I had already made it up in my mind at that point to try ending it with her again because I was too confused. She sent me a text 4 hours later saying, "Hey Jay, are you home? Well, I'm glad I saw you today. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. I think you are a great guy, but I can't date anyone at this time. If you want to just have fun, let me know. But I'm tired of being hurt, so I won't jump into another situation. Not saying you will hurt me. I'm just not going to allow it." I responded, "Yes, I'm home. Thanks, but no thanks. I can't just have fun with someone that I care for. I don't want to be in the friend zone. It's been fun, but the fun stops here. Just one last question. Is this what you really want? Yes or no?" She responded, "That is not fair, and you know it. But if you ask me, then no, it's not what I want. But I'm telling you, I'm scared, and I can't rush this. So, fine, I would rather have none of you than all of you, because I can't accept all of that right now." I responded back, "Okay, well, I enjoyed your company and the time we spent together. Take care." Then she responds back, like, "How can you say you have feelings for me, but then say all this?" Well, okay, if that's how you want it, I'll give you your space, but don't expect me to pick up the phone next time. I don't want to keep doing this back and forth shit. I'm just telling you how I feel, but don't worry about it anymore. Then I just said, okay. Then she says, "Seriously, I can't believe you. Whatever, fuck it." Then she sent me a text saying, "Okay, well, thanks for everything. I tried to call, but I guess you went back to turning your phone off. I'm going to delete your number, so you don't have to worry about me hitting you up again." Now I was thinking to myself how fucked up the whole situation was, especially for her saying she was going to delete my number. Regardless of everything that was going on, I still had it bad for Christina. And even though I was hurting and confused, there was something about her that just would not allow me to let her go permanently, even though I tried to end it. I just kept missing her like crazy, and I wanted to hear her voice, wanted to see her and interact with her through text messages. I ended up giving in and texting her a week later. I spent that whole week crying and drinking, and this is what I texted her 7 days later. "Hi, Christina. How was your day today? I really miss talking to you. I was just trying to give you your space to clear your head so you can figure out what you really want to do. I need you to be strong, and I need to keep things sincere and real, because my intentions were to make you my wife one day. I don't need a girlfriend, so if you want to be friends and just talk on the phone once in a while, that is fine. But I'm still here for you, and I'm not that man to hurt you. That man is not the man that lives here. I am the man that will love you right. But I really want to be more than just friends. I can't help the way I feel. And I want you to be able to appreciate me and know that I am a good person. And I want you to know that I really do love you and respect your well-being. I want you to have the best and for you to feel appreciated. I can see the pain and confusion in your mind, and I see much further in you than you think. And I don't want to take advantage of you at all. I just want someone that will love me, appreciate me, and not take advantage of my kindness and my love. You are the most beautiful woman that I have ever seen, inside and out. And I knew that we would be involved somehow from the first day I met you. I love you and hope to hear from you soon. Jay. She called me the next morning, and we had a long conversation. She began crying and told me that she had been good all week until I sent her that text message and that she was about to have a nervous breakdown. I started crying and tried to help calm her down. She said her favorite thing again. "Jay, what do you want from me? I can't do this. It's too much. It's just too much. I don't know why you keep asking me that, Christina. I'm going to keep giving you the same answer. She eventually calmed down, and we made up for the time being. We both got off the phone. It was seemed like a better place. And then she sent me a text saying, I feel like I'm having a panic attack, and you are not helping at all. I wish I did not have these feelings for you, but I do. I don't see how you don't see this coming in and out of my life hurts me so bad. I don't want one more man to hurt me, Jay, and I won't allow you to either. I'm really going crazy. I was good all week. I responded, I have not been hurting you, Christina. I have been good to you. I don't see how you telling me you're always nervous around me and not wanting anyone to hurt you hurts me so bad. So all I have been trying to do was show you that I care and I love to spend time with you. You said you deleted my number, which is another reason it took me so long to contact you again. That hurt me deeply as well. The next morning, which was Friday, I messaged her because I forgot to ask if she had seen this movie that we both wanted to see the week before. She did not respond. So I texted her again later that night asking if she was okay. She told me that she had a long day and never got to see the movie because she did not have anyone to go with. In my head, I was thinking, so now, all of a sudden, Keisha's not around to go with? The next morning, we texted and she told me she may or may not be going to Staten Island again. She ended up staying home over the weekend and did not even tell me, so that had me upset. We texted again on Monday and she told me she got a new haircut, so I asked her for a picture and she sent it. I told her that she looked heavenly and she said that I was sweet, and then I sent her a picture where she told me I looked nice. The day after that, we texted in the morning and she told me she was feeling like crap. In my head, I was thinking, damn, again? You were just good yesterday. Regardless, as usual, I tried to make her feel better, so I sent her a text saying, cheer up. I want the best for you, and you know you have someone here who cares for you. If I was with you right now, I would give you a full body massage, try to sing you a song, make you a meal, or even do a stupid dance just to see you smile. Things will get better for you. You know you can always call me. She did not respond to that for a couple of hours, so I sent her a nice picture of myself saying, hope my smile will brighten your day. And then she responded saying, thank you. I left her alone until the next day, and she did not hit me up. She texted me the day after that, saying good morning, and I ignored her. She did not hit me up for the rest of that day or the day after. 2 days later, she texted me asking if I was okay, and I said yes. I was not okay because I was tired of her not acknowledging my text messages. She told me that she was just making sure that I was fine, and I responded that I was all right. Then she texted saying, Jay, do you want me to just let you be? I texted her back asking why she would say that. She responded, I'm just asking. I'm trying to build our friendship back. But it seems like you like it the way it is. I still continued to lie because I was way too angry to keep it real at that moment. I responded back saying, I don't know why you would think that. We have been talking. I have sent you words of encouragement to try and cheer you up, even a picture of me. You're all that I think about. She then just said that she was making sure I was okay and asked what I was doing the next day. I told her I was going to get coffee, and I asked if she made money at work over the weekend. She said that she had to get her nails done and that she only worked 2 days and that maybe we could hang out. I responded, why say maybe if all you have to do is get your nails done? I thought you missed me. Then she responded, I did not work this weekend. They gave away my shifts, so I cleaned my apartment and chilled with Keisha. I messaged her saying, Christina, I was lonely all weekend and was wishing I could hang with you. Why didn't you let me know you didn't have to work? I thought about you like crazy, and I didn't feel like going out by myself again, so I stayed in. You know I don't bother you when you go to Staten Island because I know you handle your business and you are with your family, and you know I figured you were down there. She responded, yeah, I have just been resting, and then went drinking on Friday. Then we hung out all day Saturday, and then I cleaned today and did some online gambling. I was so fucking angry that she spent 2 whole days with Keisha. She asked if I wanted to hang out the next day, and I said yes. Then she asked if I was turning my phone off that night, and I responded, not if you want me to leave it on. I left it on for like 6 days in a row and didn't get an early morning call like you used to do sometimes, so I just started turning it off again. Do you want me to leave it on? She then said, yes. We talked in the morning, and we were planning for me to meet her in her city this time. And then we were just going to do something fun. I was extremely excited because I had not seen her in almost 3 weeks. I went to the liquor store to pick up a couple bottles of wine, one for me and one for her. I started drinking some on the bus ride down to the train station. She ended up calling me when I got to the train station, waiting on the bus to go meet her. She told me that she was not in a good mood because the guy that usually did her nails was not there, and that maybe we could meet up another time. I said to her while beginning to cry, Christina, are you serious right now? We just talked about seeing each other this morning. I have been waiting 3 weeks just to see you, missing you like crazy. I came all the way to the train station, and now you are telling me to turn around and go back home? I want to see you, and I miss you. I thought you said that you missed me. She began crying and saying, I don't know, Jay. I miss you. I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but I'm not happy right now. You told me that I made you happy and that I make you smile, I told her. I was thinking, what the flying fuck is wrong with this girl? So making this girl happy doesn't mean anything? Seriously? She was just so frustrating that I could never figure her out completely. And once again, I only dealt with all this drama because I was in love with her. She texted me 10 minutes after we hung up saying, hey Jay, I'm really sorry. Right now, in my life, I just have to remember what makes me happy. I don't know what I want or what will make me happy. That is why my mind always changes. You're a great guy, but right now, my heart is broken into little pieces that will take me time to put back together. I responded back to her saying, it is okay, Christina. I understand. It's very frustrating dealing with you constantly changing your mind. It always has been. But I love you and have always been here for you, offered you comfort, affection, and respect the best way that I can. I'm very concerned about your mental health, and I hope you get to a place where you feel better. I've never felt this way about any other woman in the world. You have a hold on me that I can't explain, but I'm still here for you if you need me. I'm not going anywhere. I left her alone after that for the rest of the day and the next day. She ended up texting me 2 days later, and we just talked for a little, and she asked what I was doing. She told me that a coworker of hers told her that she saw a picture of me and Christina on WhatsApp, and that I always used to tell her how beautiful she was and how much I liked her. I responded, yes, I used to talk to her about you a lot when I was working there. Yes, I did have a picture up that we took together until a while ago. Then she texted, not anymore? I told her that I took it down when she started to constantly frustrate me. Then she told me that she was sorry that she frustrates me and that she would continue to give me my space. I then told her I did not need any more space because I have had enough of that. Then she responded, I thought I'm frustrating you. I responded, yes, you have, but that does not mean you have to continue to be frustrating. Then she says, but I'm not trying to be frustrating. I told you I'm in a bad place. Today I called out of work and I cried all day. My heart is broken and I'm just trying to fix it. I would love to hang out with you more, but some days I'm fine and some days I don't want to get out of bed. I responded to her, but if you are not trying to be frustrating, then there would be no reason for us to be in this situation we are in. We should be happy, spending time with each other and trying to move forward. Look at the other day. First minute you said you missed me and we agreed to meet up. Next minute you were telling me to go back home. Being in a bad place is no excuse to push the one you say you care for away like that. I'm in a bad place as well, with lots of things stressing me out, but I don't take it out on you and make up reasons not to want to be around you. Pushing me away is not the answer, Christina. My heart is hurting too, and I have been crying today as well, and many nights too, and that is something we could help each other deal with. You could have called me and we could have talked today, but once again, it's like you keep doubting my feelings or won't trust me. I already put my trust in you. Then she responds, yeah, I'm just scared you'll leave me again. That is when I reply back to her. Listen, I have been crying like crazy every day. I have not been able to sleep, tossing and turning all night for the past week, all because all I have been thinking about is you, wishing I could see you, spend some time with you, kiss you, make love to you, hold you, protect you, and just make sure you feel loved because I know you have pain and I don't want to see you hurt. What I said before was true because I feel connected to you like some kind of bond. When you are sad for whatever reason, I can feel it too, and it makes me sad. Then finally, she said something to me I was dying to hear. I'm sorry, Jay, but I'm going to try to stop pushing you away and try to hang out with you more. At that point, I was still sending texts because I was not through typing, so I continued saying, every day I look at the couple of pictures we took. The ones you say are ugly, but for whatever reason, I kept them for my sake. So when I don't see you, I can be reminded of you since you rarely send me pictures of yourself. I have written letters and poems to myself about you, expressing how I feel, and I was not sure if I was ever going to give them to you, but they made me feel better and helped me hold on to the feelings that I have for you. Sometimes I have to listen to a voicemail from you, just to be able to hear your voice when I don't get to talk to you. I am sorry for ranting. I just want you to know how much I truly care for you. I only left you before because you always constantly changed your mind about everything. Whenever you call me, everything stops for you. Even if I made plans, and if you happen to want to see me, I would cancel them in a heartbeat. I would never intentionally hurt you. I would hurt someone over you, but not you. I have just really been anticipating seeing you, and that is the best thing I always look forward to. She texted saying, we will get together this weekend. Suddenly, I started feeling a little better. I responded, I would like that very much. There are so many things I want to say to you, but I can't put them all into texts. Then, next day, she called me and said she was feeling down on herself again. We had a long talk, and as usual, I offered her good words of encouragement and told her that I was always there for her. After we got off the phone, I sent her a couple of songs that I listen to when I feel like life sucks, and they made me feel better, and I hoped that they did the same for her. The next day, we planned to meet up in New York at Penn Station. I had gotten there early because I wanted to do a little drinking beforehand, and I wanted to buy her a small gift, something sentimental. She told me that morning that she was getting her hair done and that she would be an hour or so late because it was busy at the salon. I told her it was fine and that I would have no problem waiting. While looking around, I called my mother and we video chatted in a couple of stores on what to get Christina. I ended up buying her a black choker for her neck because she normally wore those. 2 hours went by and she called again saying that she would be an hour late again because she just sat in the chair. She ended up being 2.5 hours late, but I was not mad. However, I was having a feeling she might try to cancel on me again since it was around 7 p.m. I had always told her that I thought she was naturally beautiful without makeup, so when she showed up, she was all natural. My eyes almost jumped out of their sockets when I saw her. I gave her a huge hug and tongue kiss, and my body began to shake. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her as usual that I get jolts through my body sometimes when I am around her. I showed her the box with the choker inside and told her I would give it to her a little later. You're always buying me something, she said. That's not true. I only bought you flowers and a teddy bear with the card that one time, which you eventually had to throw away, I said. It was a nice night out, and we walked together while holding hands down 7th Avenue, a moment I wanted to freeze in time. I just kept staring at her at every stoplight, and I kissed her a few times and told her I loved her. At one point, she got impatient out of nowhere, and she grabbed my hand and started rushing me. I did not like that, but I just let it slide. When we got to the theater, there were only 2 seats together all the way in the front. Just get the tickets, Jay. You don't have to make it a life decision, she said. I told her I did not want to sit dead in the front, but she said it was okay, and I only did it for her. We got some nachos and soda from the concession stand, and while we were waiting in line, I started rubbing, kissing, and touching her. I'm sorry I'm all over you like this, I said. I just haven't seen you in a while, babe. It's okay, she said. Then I put my arm around her until we got our stuff and went inside. Before the movie, I gave her the choker and said to her, I know you like chokers, and I wanted to get you something sentimental like this, so every time you wear this, you can think about me. You're a jerk, she said, smiling. But I'm your jerk, I jokingly said, as we kissed. At one point, she began rubbing my cheeks, which made me really feel the affection that I loved, and she kissed me on my cheek afterwards. We smiled and stared at each other for most of the movie. She liked the movie, but once again, she did not like the way it ended, and she told me that ruined the entire movie for her. I just laughed. As we were on the slow escalator, leaving the theater, I wrapped my arms around her waist and held her tight, a feeling I also wanted to embrace forever. I began kissing her on the neck and cheek, and then I leaned in a little more and made out with her until we reached the bottom. She then told me that she wanted to spend another day with me the next day. I started to believe that maybe she was actually going to stop pushing me away. So far, this date turned out to be one of the best days we spent together, more like our first date in the city. It got late, around 11:30 p.m., and she had mentioned earlier something about wanting a drink. I asked her if she still wanted to get a drink with me somewhere, and then we could call it a night, and she agreed. We ended up walking down the street, not too far, to a restaurant in Times Square. We started off good, drinking and talking for a little. Then I showed Christina that her contact name in my phone read Christina My World, so she could see how much she really meant to me. I had her picture as my cell phone wallpaper and lock screen, as well as her ringtone, which was Ray J's Blue High Heels, a song that reminded me of how I felt about her. Ray J is singing about a woman having sex appeal in the song, and one time I told her that she had sex appeal. She had the nerve to take offense to it. Then Christina started showing me pictures in her phone. Some were on vacation with her ex, friends together, and some she had of herself in her apartment. I enjoyed seeing the pictures, but I did not want to keep seeing her ex pop up in a lot of them, and it made me upset, but like an idiot, I tolerated it as well. She always told me that she was over him, but a lot of signs were contradicting that. My phone had low power, so I asked the bartender if he could charge it for me. About 20 minutes of talking, she began talking to me in a funny way, like she was investigating me. So Jay, what do you plan to do with your whole life? I told her that I planned to write books and become a successful author, and if that did not work out, then I would be all right because I always found a way to survive, and I've always been creative. What about the acting stuff, she asked. You thought you wanted to be an actor. Then you thought you wanted to be a model. Then you thought you wanted to do this and that. I didn't think I wanted to be an actor. I knew it. That is something I pursued for years. And just because I'm not doing it anymore does not mean I did not want it, I said. No, you did not know you wanted to be an actor. You thought you wanted to do that. You tried it and it did not work out, so you thought that was what you wanted. I told her that was what I wanted at the time, but she kept emphasizing that it was a thought and not a want, and she kept ranting with me about what I wanted, and it pissed me off. I raised my hand as a gesture to express how upset I was. Don't raise your hands to me, Jay. Jay, don't put your hands up in front of me, she said, sounding crazy. I didn't even have my hands anywhere near her or her face. She just kept at it for another couple of minutes until she stopped. Then when I tried to talk to her, she began cutting me off and talking over me. Now you're cutting me off again like you have done on several other occasions, I said. You're right. I'm sorry. I guess my ex is right. I guess my family is right. They told me the same thing, that I always cut them off and that I was bad with communicating. That night, amongst others, was when, in my opinion, I felt that Christina was crazy because it was not even 5 minutes later that she went into something else and started criticizing my tattoos. She kept scrutinizing me and told me that my tattoos hindered me from getting many jobs. She even went on to say that my tattoos hinder my opportunities in life. Now, this was when she was really beginning to piss me off because she was not only interrogating me, but she was also getting smart with me. Listen, Jay, you are a black man with tattoos, and people are going to look at you differently, especially the police, and anything can happen to you, she said. I know I'm viewed differently, Christina, but I cannot live my life worrying about how people are going to think, because people will paint a picture about you no matter how you look. Yes, I may seem more of a threat to some police, and if something happens, then that's life. It's out of my control, and I'll have to deal with it as it comes. But I have always been good with my tattoos. Why are you talking about my tattoos like you don't like them? I said. I love your tattoos, Jay, especially your sleeves that go all the way down to your arm and stop at your wrist. It's so sexy, but the ones on your hands are something else. I'm just thinking that I want my future husband to be able to get a good job and present himself in a certain type of way, she said. So I thought, She was not only insulting my character, she was talking about my physical appearance, and she was telling me that I'm not the one for her future. I didn't want to explode, so I just told her to please drop the tattoo subject, but she kept going for a few more minutes, deliberately pushing me to anger. I began to notice people sitting at the end and the opposite side of the bar were paying attention to us and had looks on their faces, which I interpreted as, why is this girl talking to this guy like this? Aren't they out on a date? He's just being polite and trying to enjoy himself, and she's attacking him. I knew that was what they were thinking because I could see that they were feeling bad for me. After she dropped the tattoo thing, she began talking to the bartender for literally 20 minutes, asking him questions about his job, trying to get to know him. Meanwhile, I was sitting across from her, obviously annoyed and sad that she was intentionally ignoring me now. We both had a lot of drinks, and after she stopped talking to the bartender, I told her I was upset and that she needed to be talking to me. We slightly made up, but she did not want to kiss me because she said that I made her uncomfortable. Are you fucking serious? I'm making you uncomfortable? I was thinking to myself. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and I told her that I was about to get my cell phone back from the bartender. No, don't get your phone yet, she said, which startled me. Why are you getting your cell phone now, Jay? Well, because it has been charging for over an hour now, and it should be full by now. Jay, you don't need your cell phone. Why do you want to get your cell phone? I just want my phone so I can have it in my pocket and know that it is there. Plus, just in case, I don't want to forget it on the way out, I said. Jay, what if it's not fully charged? You won't forget it at the bar. You don't need your cell phone, Jay. At this point, I knew that she was pulling off something again, and I was done with her bullshit. I ignored her and got my phone from the bartender. I had brought along some of the letters that I had written for her and had them in an envelope and was going to surprise her with them earlier until she acted all crazy and ruined our night. I pulled the envelope out of my pocket, slammed it on the counter in front of her, and said, I can't do this. She grabbed my arm and I yanked it from underneath. Get the fuck off of me, I said. I just kept thinking that she definitely had to be bipolar or have some kind of mental illness by this point. As I was walking down the street crying huge buckets of tears, I began talking to myself saying, why are you treating me like this, Christina? Why can't we just have a good time without you starting some shit? I thought you loved me. I love you. But this is just way too much. You're fucking crazy. She tried calling me about 10 times while I was walking to the train station, but I did not answer her calls. She then sent me a text saying, are you crazy? If you don't come back, then I'm seriously done. I responded her back saying, good. You have too many issues, and I can't deal with it anymore. You are too much. Do you even treat your friends this way? Like, you are just ridiculous. I hope you get some help. Maybe you should talk to a therapist or something because you seriously need it. Then she responds back, okay, say no more. And then, less than 5 minutes, she texts, Jay, please talk to me. This isn't right. 10 minutes after that, she sends me a text saying, damn, Jay, I'm sorry for not talking to you, but seriously, I don't know what I did wrong. I know sometimes we agree to disagree, but I don't want it to be like this. I was not saying you cannot have your phone, but once again, I'm trying to understand you. You just said that I'm your world, but when we are on a date, you need your phone. When I was on the phone, I was just taking pictures and showing you stuff. Once again, I'm sorry, and I guess I'll just give you your space. I can't believe she actually acknowledged the fact that we were on a date. The next day, I got drunk all day. I missed her still, but I was extremely pissed off at her at the same time. I did not text her until early Monday morning, asking her to let me know if she was safe, but she did not respond. She called me around noon. She told me that she hung out with Keisha the next day. Then she told me that she felt lost and confused. She ended up crying and said that she did not want us to talk anymore because she didn't want me to have to deal with her. That was when I interrupted her and told her that everything would be all right. It always killed me inside whenever I heard her cry. Hearing Christina cry was my kryptonite. She apologized to me and said it was sincere and that she did not mean to come off as disrespectful to me that night. Then she said, and like I said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to hurt you anymore. I just want to let this go as we both apologize to each other. This way, if we ever get to see each other on the streets, you won't say to yourself, oh, I don't like that bitch or whatever. Like I said, I'm sorry. Then I said, that's fine, But like I said, I don't want to stop talking to you because I care about you and I really do love you. I'm in love with you and I have been here for you. I just want you to allow me to love and cherish you. That's all I ever wanted. I really don't want you to hurt Christina. Plus, I really think it would be healthy if you considered seeing a therapist. And there's nothing wrong with that because I've done it in the past and it may not have helped 100%, but it definitely helped me greatly. Then she said that she was going to work on herself. Then I told her sweetly, don't say that to me again, that you don't want to do this anymore. Don't go anywhere because I still want to be there for you. Then she said, I don't think that is a good thing because we have had so many arguments and this is just the icing on the cake. I made you feel really bad and you made me feel really bad. Mind you, there were no arguments. She was the one always starting shit out of nowhere. That was when I cut her off, asking if the issue of her talking to me and my reaction happened with only me or there was someone else, like her friends and family. But she told me that it was indeed only happening with me. Then I told her that I could not understand that. Then she says, I think it is when I care about someone whom our relationship is not merely based on friendship is when it turns sour. Like I said, maybe it is just me with relationships, so I'm not taking offense to it. It is what it is. Then I asked her if she still cared about me, and she said that she did, and that was why she called me to make sure I was okay from the other night, and she apologized again. Then she began saying that maybe she needs to learn how to communicate better with males or people in general. You think? I thought to myself. I told her that was something we could work on together, and all we needed was patience. I can't do this, Jay, she began saying. Did you think when you left me that night that we were just going to talk after that? What if something bad happened to me? You did not even care if I made it to the bus station or not. When I called you that night, you did not care. You did not even answer my calls. What if I was so upset where I just did not want to go home? Then I told her I did care, Christina, and I was worried. But the way you were verbally attacking me hurt me so bad. You did not consider my feelings at all, which got me really mad. And then she says, I don't want to hurt you anymore because this is too much. Christina, I've been willing to stay here and work on whatever issues we have together. But you can't just seem to make up your mind on what you want. One minute you're saying you just want to be friends, and then the next minute you are telling me that we are dating, and you miss me and love me, and then you are back to us just being friends again, then we are dating, and then we are friends again. I mean, what am I supposed to think? Then she said, I don't know, Jay. I just don't want to care anymore. I just want to worry about me. I don't want to have feelings for anybody else. I don't care if you want to have tattoos. You can go ahead to having them. I took a deep breath and said, Christina, I already told you that I love you and I cannot tell you what to do. But I suggested seeing a therapist. And I'm telling you right now, if this is definitely it between us, then it has to be. You cannot call me or text me after this. At that point, I did not realize she had hung up on me because I was not sure whether or not I had heard a click. Then I realized she did hang up. So are we ending things like this? I thought to myself. She called me right back and claimed that her phone got disconnected, but I know damn well she had hung up on me. Have a nice life, Jay, she said, and then she hung up on me yet again. She called right back and apologized, telling me that she was just sad. I then told her that it was fine and that I still liked hanging out with her, and I did not want her out of my life for good. Before we ended the call, she told me that I could call or text her throughout the week if I wanted to. I didn't hit her up again until about 3 days later. Sent her a text saying, Hi, Christina. Hope you're having a good day. She responded hours later after she got off work saying, Hey, Jay, I've just been working. Hope all is well with you. All was not well with me, though, because I was still missing her and crying each day. I left her alone the day after and the day after that. Then she texted me saying, Hey, Jay, how is everything going? I responded to her telling her that I was emotional. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her that I was thinking about her and it made me emotional. She asked why, and I told her it was because of the way things had left off between us. She replied saying, I really don't get you. You said you wanted it this way, and now you are being emotional. I read her message twice and sighed. I responded saying, No, that was what you said. I offered to work on any issues between us and keep things going. You wanted to give up, and you wanted us to stay as friends. She replied saying, Jay, I'm not going to keep going back and forth. You said that I needed help and you hope I get it. I'm trying to get the help I need, but I'm not going to stress the things I cannot control because that is not good for me. Then I replied, yes, I did say you needed help, but that was not me implying that I was giving up on us. I am also willing to go with you to talk to whoever it is that you want to talk to. I want to be there through your difficult times. Then she said, Jay, I'm fine, and I'll get through this by myself, but I'm not going to do the one day you talk to me, the next day you don't. I told you how I felt. You said you wanted to be friends, and if not, I shouldn't hit you up anymore. So how much more do you want? I texted her, I'm tired of dwelling in the past. I would rather not talk about anything we have been through in the past. Let's just let the past be the past and move forward. From now on, if we encounter any issue with each other, let's just try to talk it out right there and then. And if it becomes too much or we can't agree, then let's just try to move forward. Can we just do that? She replied saying, yeah, we can, but I thought we were already doing that. And that was our last text for the day. She called me the next day and we settled things. But once again, she broke her so-called friendship rule, and then she told me that she missed me, and I told her the same. Around this time, I had began watching this new TV show called Star on Fox, which grew on me, and this song had come on that reminded me of my entire situation with her to the T. The song was called I Don't Know Why. In it, the actress sings about how she keeps giving herself to the love of her life. He gives some back, but the hurt he gives overpowers the love. Meanwhile, she tries to run from his love, but fails each time as she keeps coming back. It's crazy because as soon as I heard it, I began crying. I downloaded the song immediately and began listening to it over a lot of days, and each time I would break out into tears. We finally decided to meet up the next day in New York, which was now around April 2nd. We ended up meeting at Penn Station, and I was happy to see her wearing the choker that I had bought for her. She told me that she wore it every day and never took it off. We walked to this outside bar she told me about that had good frozen margaritas. We ordered some French fries, had a few drinks, and had a nice conversation. While we were there, her mom called, and she told her that she was on a date, which surprised me again. Her mom wanted to speak to me, and I spoke to her kindly, and I assured her that I was a perfect gentleman and that I was taking good care of her daughter. I really wanted to ask what was wrong with her daughter and tell her that she might have been bipolar and was treating me okay one minute, but treating me like crap the next. When I gave the phone back and she hung up, Christina told me that her mom said that I sounded like a good guy and that I got a lot of brownie points. I told her that most girls that I have dated in the past, their moms always love me. Then she said to me, my mom says all the guys I talk to get brownie points. I thought that was such a fucked up thing to say, but I ignored it. I changed the subject and asked her what she thought about the letters I left her that night. I walked out on her. She told me that she did not remember me leaving an envelope at the restaurant. I knew she was lying, but I told her that it was fine, even though it wasn't, and that I had taken a picture of some of the letters on my phone. I read a couple of them to her out loud, but she did not seem too enthusiastic. I had put my heart and soul into those letters. When I was done reading them, she told me that she liked them, but that I was crazy for writing them. Once we were done eating, we walked to Central Park. We climbed on the tall rocks and sat there to talk for a little. We also took a couple of pictures, and she took snaps of me and put it on her Snapchat. I held her in my arms and kissed her a lot while we sat and enjoyed the view. We walked back to Penn Station, got a few more drinks, and ate in the waiting area. We both got a little trashed on those Bud Light margarita drinks. While we were sitting across from each other, we kissed some more. We ended up going to another bar, the spot on 7th Avenue. We only had a couple drinks each there, but we were both trashed at that point. While we were there, Craig had hit me up and I told her. She asked for my phone and messaged him asking what's up. She then asked me to turn on my camera so that she could text him a picture of herself. I told her that it looked too seductive since she had licked her lips and that it was not a good picture to be sent to a male friend. She thought that there was nothing wrong with it. Then she got on her Instagram and started scrolling through her timeline until she paused on a picture of some guy that looked like he was on steroids. I asked her why she was staring at the picture for so long, and she told me straight up that she thought he had a nice body. Then she starts saying crazy shit to me like, I would fuck the shit out of Craig, and I would fuck the shit out of this Instagram guy. What the hell? I thought to myself. I said, why would you want to fuck everybody else, but you don't want to fuck me? Then she says, I would fuck the shit out of you too. I tolerated it and let it slide. After we left there, she wanted to take me to another bar, some favorite spot of hers. At this point, we were both still having a semi-good time and enjoying each other's company. When we got to this final bar and walked inside, she saw some guy that she knew sitting at the bar, and she went over to give him a hug, asking how he had been. That was cool. I just sat on one chair in between them, knowing that she would join me soon. She ended up talking to the guy for about 25 minutes, and she had her back facing me, acting as though I was not even present there at all. I couldn't believe that she didn't even acknowledge me. The people sitting at the bar and even the bartender could not believe that she was ignoring me. I could read the looks on their faces, and I could imagine what they were thinking. At that point, the anger inside of me started to rise slowly. I did not want to cause any drama or make anything obvious, so I put my headphones on and started looking at the flat screen TV. Then finally, she decides to come over to my chair, tapping me on my shoulder. Are you seriously doing this right now, Christina? I said, turning to her. She had the nerve to say to me, I told you that you could join us, Jay. Can you believe this bitch? I thought to myself. She said join us, like her and the guy were the ones who initially came into the bar together. That is when I started blacking out, slamming my fist on top of the bar while yelling, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't be serious right now. You were sitting there talking to that guy the whole damn time, not even introduced me, and on top of that, you were trying to tell me to come and sit next to you two? Don't raise your hands to me, Jay, she said. Mind you, I wasn't. No, fuck that. I'm sitting up here writing you letters and shit, telling you and showing you how I feel about you, and you were acting like you don't even care. I began crying at the bar, and that was when the guy told her to go sit next to me, and he referred to me as her friend since he did not know that we were dating. I then told him that we were on a date. Christina literally sat there like she did not even give two fucks about me. You're too emotional, she said. She still sat there after I let my anger and my pain flow, and even had the nerve to tell the guy that I was crazy. You are fucking crazy, I said to her. You are being so disrespectful right now. I would never do anything like this to you, Christina. If it were to be the opposite, and I walked into a place with you and saw a female that I knew, I would say hi and chat for a minute or two, and then come join you, I said, terribly hurt. You are taking this too serious, Jay, she said. I was so enraged that I put my headphones back on for a few minutes while she attempted to tap me on my shoulder, trying to talk to me. By that point, I was so heated that I ignored her, so she sat to herself for about 20 more minutes until going to the bathroom. Then the guy left. When Christina came back from the bathroom, she came over to me and said, Jay, I'm leaving. I could not believe she was about to walk out on me after all that just happened, like I was in the wrong. I said nothing to her, but I hoped that she was not really going to leave me there, especially having the feeling that she might be done with me for good. She actually did leave, and I could not believe it. I sat there, still using my headphones and having thoughts fill up in my head. 5 minutes later, she came back into the bar and sat next to me. By this time, everyone else at the bar was gone, since it was around 2 a.m. Jay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave, she said. I began crying again, and I asked her why she would ignore me like that. She claimed that she was not talking to him for that long and that I was making a big deal out of it. I really don't remember how in the world we made up, but we did eventually while we were seated there. We were both still very drunk, and she ended up paying for her drinks and told me that she did not pay for mine. We left the bar and started walking towards the bus station when it started raining out of nowhere. We both didn't have an umbrella, so we ducked into a small opening of a construction site that gave us coverage. We eventually made up there as we talked everything through. Jay, I love you, she said while beginning to cry. You don't love me. Why do you keep treating me like this? I said to her while crying hysterically. Yes, I do, Jay. I really do. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. It's okay, Christina. I forgive you, I said. I love you, baby, and I'm here for you. Please don't treat me this way anymore. I love you so much, I said to her while we both continued to squeeze the life out of each other with hugs and kisses. That was when a construction worker came from behind these steel doors and told us we could no longer stand underneath the structure. We both ended up feeling a little better and began walking towards the bus stop again. Almost halfway there, we got slightly wet in the rain and we had to keep ducking in and out of small openings. She later realized that she had lost her jacket. I told her to call the bar to see if it was there, and luckily for her, the bartender had found it. Don't worry about your jacket, babe. I'll get you to the bus station and I will go get your jacket and give it to you tomorrow, unless you really want it now, I said. She said that it was okay and that she will walk back with me. When we got to the bar, we started talking about just staying the night with each other. I found a hotel not too far from there. We caught a cab, and when we got to our hotel room, we decided we dried ourselves. Excuse me, y'all. This is my first time reading this long. We dried ourselves when we got to the hotel room. She got completely naked, and I stayed in my boxer shorts while I admired her delicious body. We lay down in the bed and kissed, and then she said to me, "Hold me, Jay." So that was what I did. We were both so tired that we dozed off together. In the morning, I woke up about 2 hours before she did. I just sat there holding her and watching her sleep. You are so beautiful. Even after all you have put me through, I can't believe I'm still here with you in this moment. I love you, I thought to myself. She woke up shortly and we began making out. As I started to get her turned on, I began sucking on her breasts, biting her nipples, and rubbing on her pussy. And this time, she did not stop me so quickly. I caressed her pussy for about a minute, rubbing on her clit as I began moving my fingers clockwise inside it. I started off slow and then I increased the speed and rubbed on it fast until she began to moan loudly. I whispered in her ear, "This is my pussy and I'm ready to taste it." "Smack my ass, Jay," she said. I quickly did what she asked and admired some tattoos that she had on her body. Then I turned her over and she said, "I want you to fuck the shit out of me, Jay." Hearing that made every muscle in my body move straight to my dick. I was ready to finally get the pussy that I'd always wanted. For a split second, I forgot I didn't bring any condoms with me, and I was about to just put my dick inside of her unprotected. I really did not care at first, but for some reason, after I slid a little of the tip in, I stopped and told her I did not have a condom. I think I was having flashbacks of when she told me I ruled with no condoms. I must have been out of my motherfucking mind to have stopped myself for once when that was the pussy that I wanted more than any other pussy in my entire life. She did not say anything, but I could tell she was upset. And that is when I told her that she had been playing games for so long that I did not think that she would actually want to fuck that time. I got a little frustrated with her, so I just lay down next to her and we began talking, which of course led to my dick going soft. We had the nerve to she had the nerve to start saying smart shit yet again out of nowhere. "You are so jealous, Jay," she said. "No, I'm not. What are you even talking about?" I asked her. "Yes, you are. You are jealous of Craig, and you are jealous of my friend at the bar. We spent the whole day together, and you get mad for 20 seconds, she said. Not even 10 seconds after that, she says to me, "You didn't bring any condoms either. Why wouldn't you bring any condoms? You need to start acting right." I was literally laying there thinking to myself, wow, I really can't believe she is saying this shit right now. After laying there and getting back to another subject, she started rubbing on her pussy. I began getting horny again and I tried to play with her pussy, but she kept stopping me. I had enough, so I started masturbating next to her while watching. Then I grabbed her hand and put it on my dick since she would not touch me on her own discretion. I guided her hand up and down, stroking it, and it felt insanely amazing. I began to moan as she was stroking my hard dick. "Damn, Jay, just hearing you moan is making me want you. I want you so bad. I want you inside of me." Eventually, I let go and hoped that she would stroke me off hard until I came, but she just kept sitting there holding it like she didn't know what to do with it while still rubbing on her pussy and telling me how bad she wanted me. At that point, I told her, "Fuck this. I'm going to the store to get some condoms. There's no way we're leaving this hotel without having sex." By that time, we were due to check out in about 20 minutes. I had run out of cash, So she told me to hand her pocketbook to her, and she also asked me to get her some orange juice. I ended up walking around for about 15 minutes finding a store that sold condoms. For some strange reason, the part of the city that we were in had no sex shops or stores that sold single condoms. When I went into the store, the guy said he only sold a pack of 8 for about $15. Are you crazy? I said to him, and he laughed. I didn't have enough to buy the box, but I realized anyway that we would no longer have time to have sex because by the time I got back, we would only have about 3 minutes to check out. I got her orange juice and told her that we would definitely have a makeup session on the weekend and that the anticipation of waiting and wanting each other would make for a better fuck session. She had to hurry up and get dressed. Her hair was a little puffy from the rain the other night. Now you finally get to see my true all-natural hair when it's messed up. I don't like it like this, she said. You look fine, babe. And I said it, and I like it like that. You're still naturally sexy as fuck, I said. After she got dressed, she lay down on the bed and asked me to lay on top of her, so I did. We've got to hurry up and check out. We literally have just 1 minute, I said. Please, just hold me, Jay. I just want to hold you for a little more. Squeeze me, she said. And then I did. After we got up, we rushed and checked out. As we were walking down the street, she asked me if we should talk about the bar incident or if we should just try moving forward like we had planned to start doing. I refused and told her that we should just move past that. We continued walking down the street holding hands and kissing. She said to me, my pussy is so wet. When I get home, I'm gonna touch myself. That struck a chord with me. I was thinking, here I am trying to have sex with you on different occasions. I touch your pussy and try to eat you out, but then you push me away like you don't even want me to touch you, and you still have the nerve to tell me you are going to go touch yourself? I let it slide because she assured me that we would make it up that weekend. When I walked into the bus station, I grabbed a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and then we went to sit and wait for her bus. We just sat and stared at each other. We kissed a little more and talked about what we were going to do that day. She told me that she needed to go get her nails done and to get her hair fixed. Jay, I want to stay with you all day. I don't want to leave you, but I definitely have to fix myself up, she said. 5 minutes later, when her bus arrived, she began looking sad and said to me again, Jay, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you either, baby. I love you, I said, and gave her one last kiss before she left. She told me to call her as soon as I got back to Jersey because she wanted to have phone sex. When I got back, I had called my mother to tell her the whole crazy day I had with her. Christina called on the other line, so I clicked over and told her that I was on the other line with someone, and she told me she was in the bathtub and she needed me to call her back fast. I didn't call her back right away, and we just ended up talking a little when I did. I think she was upset because she wanted to get off together on the phone. I left her alone the next day, and we talked again 2 days later while she was getting dressed for work. She asked what I was doing, and I told her that an old friend had hit me up and that we were going to meet up and catch up. She responded with, good for you, have fun. I ended up telling her later when we talked on the phone, and she asked why I didn't tell her it was a female friend when I first texted. I told her I didn't think anything of it. The way she had been treating me at that time, I didn't understand why she would be jealous. The next morning, Christina brought up the subject of my female friend, and she seemed nervous about it. I assured her that she was indeed just a friend. Then she randomly also asked me to text her a picture of myself before we got off the phone. I sent her the picture and then told her that I was going to text her when I was finished getting dressed. She did not respond. So I wrote, guess you were still getting dressed or got busy since I didn't hear back. I really wanted to talk to you one more time before you went to work. Have a good day, babe. Hope you make good money and we can talk later. She responded saying that she was trying to call me, so I called her back. She said my phone kept going to voicemail, which was weird because my phone was fine. She said that she missed me, and I told her the same. I sent her a text later saying, I'm thinking about you, with a smile and a kiss emoji. She did not respond back until 5 hours later. We did not continue texting because she said she was going to sleep. I called her in the morning and we spoke briefly. She said that she was still in bed tired and that she had drank an entire bottle of wine before she went to sleep. I told her to get enough rest because she would need all that energy since that was the weekend we were supposed to have our decided makeup sex after the incident at the hotel. I began saying raunchy things to her, telling her that I was going to tear her pussy apart and fuck her so good that she would not want to leave. Oh, really? Yeah, babe. I was going to be at the house all day by myself that day. When we finished talking, I sent her a picture of my dick and a message with my address saying, "You are coming to get this on Sunday. I want you there at 11 a.m. She responded by saying, "Oh boy, you better behave. We will see. I have to talk to my mother first and confirm if I have to go to Staten Island this weekend. I'll be wet all day." I was really thinking to myself at that moment, we will see. I just sent you a picture of my hard dick, told you I was going to hit your pussy good, and all you had to say was, "We will see"? What the fuck was her problem? I responded saying, "If I were you, I would be there at 11. Then she replied, "LOL. Oh, it's like that now?" I was tired of her telling me how wet she always was because I had been waiting for ages now to fuck her brains out, but she just kept procrastinating. The next day, she texted me first, and I asked if she was ready for Sunday. She said she was not sure yet, so I told her to confirm right away because I had something planned for her. I already had some wine and a nice setup, and before I continued with something else, I wanted to make sure she was coming. Then she replied, "Like I said, I'm not sure, but if you need to know now, then I guess it is a no." I was pissed, but I played it off and just told her, okay, and that she should have a safe weekend. Then she responded saying, "You are so up and down, but whatever." I began thinking to myself, I'm up and down? Are you fucking serious? I just ignored her for a couple of days, and she did not try calling or texting me. 2 days later, she texted me a video we had both taken together on her Snapchat, along with a sexy photo of herself naked in a bathrobe. I did not respond to those texts either, and she tried calling me a couple of times that night, and I ignored her. She called a lot of times the next day, which I also ignored. I decided to pick up her calls 4 days later. I had some time to think about the entire situation, and I decided that once and for all, I was done dealing with her bullshit. When I answered the phone, I spoke with serious pain in my voice. I said, "Listen, are you ready to commit to me now or not?" I already had it up in my mind that if she said anything other than yes, then I was completely done with her for good. She responded saying, "I told you I don't know what I want right now." Click. I hung up the phone right after she said that. She had the nerve to text me saying, "Why can't you ever just talk? You are so unfair. But okay, like I said, if this is what you want, then so be it." I was thinking, all I ever did was to talk and communicate with you, but you never communicated with me well. And now you are talking about me being unfair? Bitch, please. The next day, she blew up my phone with calls again, and I ignored her. Then she sent me a text saying, "Why won't you at least let me speak my feelings?" I knew she was only ranting, so I would call or text her back, so I continued ignoring her. She continued to call me nonstop for the next 4 days, and I kept ignoring. I had strongly made up my mind that I was completely done with her. Then I got a text from her saying, "Yo, you are madly disrespectful, but I'm done trying to reach out to you. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's fine, since it's your choice. I really can't believe you. I'm seriously done trying to reach out anymore. I hope you have a great life." I decided to send her one final text to ensure her that we were through. I replied, "You want to know what disrespectful is, Christina? Disrespectful is telling someone you love them and not showing it. It is continually deceiving me and lying to me for the umpteenth time that your ex-boyfriend was moving out soon and that you did not have feelings for him or have any sexual affairs with him anymore. Are you fucking serious? Do you think I'm stupid? Disrespectful is you also saying you would love to fuck other guys, yet you played games with me when it came to sex. Disrespectful is talking to your so-called love like shit and not showing me any kind of respect for the past 2.5 months. Disrespectful is vanishing for no apparent reason and ignoring text messages that express my feelings. Disrespectful is not even realizing such a good person you had in your life who, regardless of your shitty attitude, stuck by you and gave you his trust and dealt with the constant disrespect you treated him with because he really loved you. Disrespectful is not even admitting you were wrong on many occasions. Simply put, you were just being entertained, and I was the one who was claiming you and committed myself 100% to you for 4 months, spending time, money, and opening all of myself to you. I tried all I could to express myself, bought sentimental shit, wrote letters. I even tried to express myself sexually, which you deliberately kept pushing me away. I was willing to do anything for you, and you knew it. And on top of that, disrespectful is telling your so-called love that you don't know what you want right now. All you did was string me along and use me as some void to fill. You obviously still have loose ends to tie up, and you lied to me about it being over with your ex. You never loved me, and it was extremely disrespectful for you to tell me that you did when you clearly didn't. You fucked up, not me. So there is no more gaslighting with me. You really need to mature and grow up. I'm moving on with my life. Karma is a bitch, Christina. Believe that. Bye. That was when she called and I ignored it. Then she sent me a crazy text which read, "Let's talk about it like adults. You've got it all wrong, and that's so fucked up. I actually sleep on the couch, and I haven't been having sex with my ex. Why can't we talk? I don't get it." Then she continued with another text saying, "Yo, that's so unfair. You made up this whole scenario in your head, and now you are putting it on me, and that's not fair. But okay, like I said, I'm not going to keep looking like the dummy calling your ass. I'm trying to explain everything, but you'll rather live in your truth, so fuck it. You win. And yeah, this is mad disrespectful and crazy. You making shit up. So like you said, peace. Hope you find better." I thought she was crazy after saying that, but what happened next made me really think she was fucked in the head. The entire time this was taking place, I was watching a basketball game, chilling at this girl's house I had met not too recently after I had made up my mind about being through with Christina. I needed to meet someone to get my mind off her. I had tossed my phone on the floor and went into the bathroom. Christina called and the girl answered the phone. When I got out of the bathroom, I got mad and yelled to her, telling her to hang up my phone. She told me that Christina sounded very angry, but was trying to act like she was being polite, asking to speak to me. She said it sounded like she was in a car with a girl talking shit about me in the background. Christina sent me one final text after that saying, "That's disrespectful, Jay, having a bitch answer your phone like you want her to get fucked up. I wanted to talk like adults, but clearly you still want to be a little ass boy. I'll stop hitting you up because you almost had your bitch get fucked up. You act like I don't know where you live. Tell her that if she wants to act like a fucking secretary, I'll beat that ass like the help she is." Yeah, she threatened me and the girl. I could have pressed charges, but in some weird way, I still loved her at the time. Yeah, that was the icing on the cake for me, realizing that she was indeed a fucking psychopath. She was talking about me being a little boy when she was acting like a little ass high school girl. I still thought about her and cried a lot. I'm only human. I spent many nights crying and looking at our pictures together and pictures of her. A lot of those nights I spent getting drunk, being consoled by my mother and my friend, the girl I got back in touch with. Around this time, I ended up hearing another song that reminded me of our situation. Not the entire song, but a lot of it. One of my favorite rappers, The Game, had just put it out. It was called Baby You, featuring Jason Derulo. In it, The Game raps about being good to a woman, and despite the fact she still took him for granted. The verse, "You the one I fell in love with, but now you want some fuck shit," are which really stuck out to me, as well as Jason Derulo's line on the hook, "Every time I decide to leave you all in the past, baby, I be thinking about you on the long drive." This song had me crying, missing her and hating her the most as well. As a couple of weeks went by, my feelings for her started fading away little by little, yet I still felt like I loved this girl. She still tried to reach out to me 2 weeks later. She sent me a text around 1 a.m. saying, "Hey Jay, I just wanted to tell you I miss you as a friend and as my boo. Like I told you, my ex would be out by the first of the month, and he is gone now and out of my life for good. I was never doing anything with him, I promise. I feel like we should give this another chance, because now I can see you more often on the weekends. I was dealing with a lot, but I didn't want to tell you because I'm not used to talking to people about all my drama. But one of my family members is sick with a disease, and that's why I'm always in Staten Island around them, but I want to be around for you too. You can come over whenever you want now, and I think that is what will make us have better communication. I can talk anytime you want, so please call. I changed my number and everything. Maybe we can meet for lunch tomorrow and just talk. After reading the text, I began thinking to myself, now she is telling me all the shit she should have told me before. I should have been able to go to her place anytime, and she should have wanted to be around and be there for me when I needed it. Now, all of a sudden, when I cut her out of my life, she was telling me someone close to her was really sick and her ex magically moved out? No way. I did not respond. So she sent me one final text saying that she was sorry to bother me and that she would try not to contact me again. As the days passed after that day, I was having a hard time focusing at my new job at another restaurant. I would just be thinking about her and almost breaking out into tears in front of guests. I ended up going into the bathroom and crying buckets until I got it together. I would be thinking to myself, how can you miss someone that did you so wrong? Why can't I stop thinking about this girl? Is it really because I somehow still love her? I was not stupid enough to go back so that she could play me again. She did not deserve me, and I could not believe she turned out to be such a rotten person. I could not believe that I had gotten to the point where I could comfortably call her all sorts of names without thinking twice. I was in so much pain, and it felt as though someone was eating out my insides. Still, in some odd way, I still wanted her touch, her kiss, and I missed her presence like hell. Even before the very final text she sent me, as angry as I was with Christina, I still kept giving her a chance to apologize. I just kept waiting for her to genuinely apologize. Even though she told me that she missed me and kept calling my phone, she was not leaving me any voicemails, crying, or trying genuinely to prove to me that she really cared as much as I did. All I wanted to hear her say to me was something like, listen, Jay, I fucked up. I realized that, and I sincerely apologize. You have been good to me, and I feel so stupid for taking you for granted and acting the way I did. I want you to know that I love you, care about you, and all the crazy shit I said to you, I did not mean to. I know that I hurt you, and I did not mean to disrespect you in any kind of way. If you just give me a chance to speak to you, I will assure you of my feelings, and I promise that if you give me another chance for us, that I would treat you better, and I'm not just saying that, I will also show you. Now, if she left me a voicemail saying that, or possibly sent a text, I would have spoken to her again. I guess her pride or ego got in the way of that, and so she lost me forever. Such a shame. She ended up trying to contact me yet again an entire month later. It was around 2 a.m, and my phone was on silent, so I did not hear her phone call, which she had tried to call first. I woke up to a text message saying, I love you. When I woke up and read that message, I said to myself out loud, what the fuck? Once again, I always wished that she had shown that she loved me and told me in person and text that she loved me more often, but she never did. I did not respond, so around 11 in the morning, the same day, she called one last time and I sent her the voicemail. The final text from her said, please, can we just talk for 2 minutes? I was tired of talking, so I still didn't respond. That was the last time I ever heard from Christina. The entire situation with her was traumatizing. I had never loved any woman more than her up to that point in my life, and at the same time, I had never been more hurt by any other woman. When I fall hard, and I was ready and willing to do literally anything for Christina. I was even going to ask her to move out of the country with me to start a new life. What's even crazier is that months later, after going by my old job and seeing some of my former coworkers, they told me that this bitch didn't even acknowledge me. Yes, I'm calling her a bitch because she is a bitch for telling me she loved me, then making it seem like I was nothing at her job. Are you fucking serious? I found out most of them didn't even know we were dating. Someone else said that she told them we hung out one time, which was a damn lie, and that we had only remained friends. Another one of them said she told her that we only went out on 2 dates, but she was making it seem like it was casual when we were fucking in love by that time. Like I said, at least I knew I was really in love. She never loved me and didn't know how to love me, even if she meant what she said. I mean, I wasn't expecting her to be broadcasting her feelings to the world about us, but damn, I thought she would at least have been acknowledging the fact that she loved me and that we were dating. After learning this, it just reassured me that the entire time she must have been ashamed to even talk about me. And after giving her my heart and doing everything I could to make her happy while dealing with her disrespect on top of it. But she's got everyone at her job fooled about us? Wow, such a shame. I wonder what she was telling her mom and Keisha about me, if she even mentioned me to them at all. Going through what I did and ending with her was the hardest thing I have had to do in my entire life. She really fucked my head up. And I cannot believe that I'm finally over her as of now. I just really hope that she got some professional help from that which went wrong with her mentally, because I wouldn't want any man to go through all I did. Before I end this introduction, I just want to say this. It is okay to make mistakes in relationships. It's also okay to give people more than one chance. I should have been ended things with Christina a long time before it got worse, and maybe I would not have gotten so hurt. But you can't just tell someone you love them and then turn around and try to back out. That is beyond fucked up. Love is not a toy you can just play with and then get rid of. Her telling me that she loved me was the only reason I kept giving her chances, dealing with her for so long. But it's okay, because I learned a valuable lesson. Don't waste your time and energy caring more for someone than they do for you, whether you love them or not. It will never work, and you will be wasting your time. If they cheat, they will always cheat. Move on. There's no such thing as forgiving and staying with a cheater, unless you're just a dumbass. At the end of the day, you have to value yourself more and know that you are worth more than any kind of games, drama, and bullshit people will try to put you through in life. Move the fuck on and find friends and lovers who really want to offer you love, support, and spend time with you. So, tell me, ladies, and you simp guys out there who still believe in love, dating, and relationships, what am I missing out on again by being Mgtow? Don't worry, I'll wait. Absolutely nothing. I don't have to worry about being cheated on, lied to. I don't have to waste money on pointless dates. I don't have any annoying complaining in my ear, no drama, no bitching. And I don't have to worry about getting any bitch pregnant because I'm about to have a vasectomy this year. So, to you females who get mad because I walked away from my programming of doing everything in the world to try and please you, I am no longer oppressed by your selfish, evil nature. You now have a full explanation of how most of you are treating good men like shit. And this is why men are going Mgtow, and some are even cutting you out of their lives completely, with friendships included. So, like I'll reiterate again, I don't hate women. I just call women out on their bullshit, and I understand their nature. And this is why women don't like being called out on their bullshit, and they use shaming language and say all kinds of stuff about you when you decide that you walk away from dating. They call you gay. They say who hurt you, and the same universal language, the same shit they always say. You guys, tell any female this. Oh, I don't date anymore. I give up on women. They're gonna say that's gonna be their top response. You're gay, or are you gay? Or they're gonna say who hurt you, or they're gonna say all women are not like that. But men have grown tired of your nonsense, and we aren't dealing with it anymore. So screw your opinions of Mgtow, screw your crappy attitudes, screw your drama, screw your lies and manipulations, screw your nature. Mgtow is freedom, Mgtow is life. I'm J Mgtow, and I'm built Mgtow strong.
Four.